Alright, bet.
Just catching all the pre-production bullshit. Who cares?
Yeah. You cut all this out.
Oh yeah, I'm cutting all this out.
Not on the live.
Not on the live, but.
Not on the live. Put on the.
But it's not like people like see our shit and then just hop on right away. So you know what I mean? Like usually they start catching it in like midstream. Start taking like a R. Kelly sex.
Oh my God, let's go right into that.
Start right there.
Yeah, talking about that. Did you see he dropped a new album?
Yeah, they pulled it.
Called I Did It or something. I confess I did it or something. Like, nigga, we know. Like, I don't know why you're telling us.
Why did you They didn't let me hear it, man. I wanted to hear it. Apparently had like a 19-minute track or something.
19 minutes.
He said all the bitches. He did that shit too.
He was talking about what he did and didn't do. You know what I'm saying? So it was a little weird.
Yo, this nigga has no fucking shame.
Yeah, well, I saw like the quote that he essentially was saying was that he understands that pedophilia is wrong, but he doesn't understand why liking young women is.
He's also super illiterate.
Does that
he had to have
make
people
sense?
like read for him.
It does to some degree, right? And I'm not defending R. Kelly in this, right?
No, I'm saying but I'm saying, like, how do you know that?
Because there's actually, like, remember I was telling you about that? There's like 3 categories for the files. Like, pedo is like prepubescent, right? So pedo's when you're a
Some of them were though.
Well,
we're not prepubescent.
With him because he was fucking 14-year-old girls in like 1996, like before like they got like the chicken hormone and all that shit that these new girls got that got them their new bodies and shit.
Chicken hormone.
Yeah, because you know they got like something crazy, the steroids in the chicken. But look at The Rock. I'm joking.
The Rock is huge.
But
we don't know what happened there. But we know what happened there.
Whatchamacallit, like
we stole some Snickers. It was working.
Like
out.
Yeah, you stole Snickers.
Pedophile is like you're attracted to like let's say 12-year-old girls before puberty or 12-year-old boys before puberty when they look like children. Then they have something like in between where it's like you like girls that or boys that are post puberty. So when they start looking more adultish, like when they're in their like teens or whatever. But I don't know what the name for it is. Like there's like
did not.
No, it is.
No, some girls.
But that's what he's trying to say essentially is like he understands that pedophilia is wrong, but he's not.
Some of them girls like
he
Aaliyah.
likes in between affiliate.
When he got with Aaliyah,
14 and 15. That's
like
but the age. But some of them girls were not fully developed when with them.
He was
the age was the age.
He was completely in the wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like because
but I'm saying
like even like the original sex tape. Remember the one that came the one I was making a joke about, the one where he peed on the girl, and then like people just forgot about it, and then he just kept on doing it. You know what I mean?
But like, I'm saying, like, you're saying that he was, ¿cómo te digo? He was interested in these women after they hit a certain age. And
after they hit puberty.
They developed. Right. But some of them girls, even though they hit that age, did not develop or did not start. Like, because Aaliyah, when Aaliyah.
Yeah, she was 15 when he married.
But exactly, but she wasn't.
She was skinny and
that's what I'm saying. So it's not.
I'm not giving him no bail.
No,
what I'm saying is I'm taking the headline that was that the quote that came out of that, and I'm just breaking it down. That's all. Like he deserves where he's at, and entirely because. But the thing is that he's not the only one.
No, for sure.
Like. All the parents of those kids that let him do all that shit need to be right there in jail with R. Kelly.
It's like the whole Michael Jackson situation.
Yeah.
And I mean, and that's still like a mystery. Yeah, and allegedly. Even, and you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to say that Michael Jackson did it, but he probably did it. You know what I mean? Like, most likely. Like, I don't know any other grown men that has sleepovers with kids.
It was strange. And, like, some of the explanations were that he didn't have a childhood. So he was trying to emulate a childhood, and he had a childhood mentality, and I'm like,
I get that. That does sound like some trauma shit. But then, like,
he had a monkey. He had a fucking monkey.
I don't know what has to do with the other.
I mean,
you're just rich when you have monkey money.
That's some shit that a child would want. It's like, what do you want for Christmas? Oh, I want a pet pony. No, the fuck you don't.
What a monkey!
Pet ponies are disgusting. All of those animals are like hard to take care of. And you can't really get that as an adult, you know that. You're like, I don't want to put a diaper on you.
I feel like monkeys
fucking they hit puberty and they start coming on shit. You didn't just start beating off.
No, but I feel like a lot of his, I don't know about his, like, the whole sexual part, but a lot of his stuff is that when something happened to him, he was traumatized at that age. And
Hollywood.
He mentally stayed
there.
His
hair on fire. All this shit happened to him. He was fucked up. No doubt.
Well, and the thing is, like, right, like, because I was such a Michael Jackson fan, I refused to believe it. Like, I was like, fuck them kids. For the longest. Yep. I was like, I'm moonwalking right past your accusations. Like, you ain't gonna hit me with that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're telling me the nigga that was doing all that was, you know what I mean, skeeting on these kids? I'm like, nah, man, I'm not gonna believe that shit. But when that docuseries came out, that Neverland doc, and they showed that video of the security footage of him taking that kid to the jewelry store and he bought him that wedding ring, and that kid still was holding on to that ring to this day, I was like, he did it. That was confirmation for me. And the reason being is, A, you don't take no kid to get no ring. You say no wedding ring. 2, you know what I'm saying? Like, this kid was holding on to that shit.
Can you imagine the brainwashing and then the stuff that had to go on for that?
That means, like, he's like he's a widow. He's like, my baby gone. Like, I'm never gonna get him back. All I got left is this ring that he bought me when I was 10. You know what I mean? Like,
and even then, he's accusing Michael of all this trauma and all this shit. So that tells you, like, how
the level
fucked up. Yeah. Like, like, even though he himself knows that what Michael did was wrong, he still wearing the ring. He still talks about him and, like, idol kind of. Yeah.
I mean, it's some shit, man. Like, because, like, the hardest part, and this is where it gets a little. Maybe I shouldn't get too deep into it, but, like, for example, like, certain people, they become those things because it happened to them, right? You know, like, so let's take a look at R. Kelly.
Some people go the opposite way.
R. Kelly was saying that, I think he said that his sister, like, raped him or some shit when he was a kid. He was talking about how he wanted to drink from his mom's coffee mug because it had her lipstick on it and shit. Like, he was saying these kind of things. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody had touched him when he was a kid.
Like, who? I'm not saying who and what. You know what I'm saying? But clearly there was something there, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you take a look at Michael Jackson and, like, the kind of childhood that he was raised. I mean, even in the last episode, we talked about Mariah Carey's mom and how she supposedly sacrificed Mariah Carey and her sister at parties to get fucked by grown men so that they can, you know, become famous. Like, we don't know what happened to these people. We just know what happened after. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's where it's like kind of like gray.
Yeah.
Because
like unsolved mystery shit. I hear that music.
Well, it's hard because you know, you don't want to be sympathetic to these people when they do like people who commit, even not just pedophilia, but let's say somebody who killed somebody, or or you know, some fucked up thing. When you see these fucked up things, like where it ended, you're like, oh, you piece of fucking shit. I can't believe, but you don't know how he got there, the journey. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are complicated beings, and sometimes, you know, like we're lost, and we're just like navigating our own life through our own morals and what we define them as. You know what I'm saying? Like, and how I define my morals may not be how you define your morals, may not be how you define your morals. We may all have different morals. So if I'm on my own GPS, you know what I'm saying, I'm bound to hit the wrong street at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's just fucked up because, like, you know, the childhood trauma, you carry that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way of
ridding yourself of that.
Right.
At least through, like, therapy.
But
like, even then, you're still already scarred, so you can't undo that trauma if you're just stuck with it.
And it's sad But the best thing I think we can do is have these conversations and like not to normalize, not so people understand how often these things happen, but to process them through different eyes. You know, like, cause sometimes like
perspectives on it.
Yeah, like, you know, like sometimes, and damn, like I'm caught in a moment where like I want to say some real shit, but then like I'm like, if I say this, there's no undoing that.
Well, then say it. Say it. It's highly offensive.
I mean,
No, because it's like kind of all right. I mean,
drop it.
fuck
Spill
it.
the beans.
You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, I've probably, I don't think I've ever talked about it on my podcast before, but
Don't feel pressure. We don't have to talk about shit.
no, I got nice.
I got an awesome segue.
It's cool, but
It's okay.
like I got molested like when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like by my uncle, right? He was raped by his father, and there was, you know what I mean, like a lineage there of like where you can see like where the
It was a normalized thing.
my biggest fear ever since then would be that one day I would end up like him. Like, and you know, there's times where like I've told you, right? Like I'd be on TikTok and I will see, like I'm just scrolling through, right? And you know, all you see is just ass sometimes and body parts.
Pretty much.
And it's not like until, like for example, right, there's before I didn't check girls' ages. It's only now that I have to, because the girls that I'll be seeing on TikTok, they do not look like 16-year-old girls.
Yeah,
they don't look like. So it's like when you know you see these stories of people who went through these childhood abuses, and the damage that it leaves them, and how it sets them into this kind of cycle of repetition.
It's like a dark passenger.
You know what I mean?
That's
Like
shit, like a compulsive thing you gotta do to feel normal. That's your normal.
it's
everybody else's normal is not that normal, so they're just like, you're weird, but you're like, no, but this is normal to me. So I feel compassion for those people, especially, but when I don't feel it, it's when they recognize, like, you could stop it from happening, like, you know it's wrong, and you know it was wrong for it to happen to you. You recognize that, you went to therapy or whatever you went through your process.
Well, and the reason why I say like perspective, right, is because not everyone has that perspective. Like the perspective that I had as a kid was that it was my fault.
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't like.
You were groomed to feel that way.
Yeah,
no.
the whole point. It's supposed
I
to be.
know. But that was the perspective that I had.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Was that, and I was harsh on myself because I was like, you did this to yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know any better. I was a 12-year-old kid. You know what I'm saying? But like, now as an adult, I can process things differently.
You can see what's right, what's wrong.
And not just that, but you can also see like what led up to that. Like, oh damn, I just didn't catch that. You know what I'm saying? Because I was so fucking gullible and fucking whatever. I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just it's hard because you can't fix the damage.
No, the damage
Like
is done.
like for example, like me, right? Like I've said it before. I hypersexualize the fuck out of women. I cannot not do it.
That, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
only thing you can do is control your impulse to do what's outside of the norm, and like we as people define what's normal, what's not normal. So like if we all decided one day, like, hey, like we're not gonna call each other male or female anymore, like it's just bureaucracy happens and they obliterate that shit, and you're just not doing it anymore. Like maybe that's the new norm for that group of people that wanted that to happen, but for like everybody else, they're like, this is weird. When you go, much like people are with like computers, all the other shit that becomes normalized over time through society, but that's not, that's not a normal thing. It's never been a normal thing because we look at that differently. But 400, 500 years ago, that was the normal shit. You watch Game of Thrones, that they were getting it popping with their aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, everybody. It was normal to keep it in the family, if you will. But some people, even with time, just like, okay, that was a normalized thing that they learned that was normal to do. Well, and they did it.
And then just think about it like this from this perspective, right? Like, that happened to me, right? So now I hypersexualize women. But I'm also living in an age with porn where there's all this ass on TikTok and readily
you're being programmed.
Like,
you don't even have to go to
now
porn websites anymore.
It's
the porn websites are Instagram.
Everywhere.
Like, Rihanna popped the titty, and then ever since then, everybody has see-through everything on Instagram, Facebook, like everywhere. It's everywhere. Titties everywhere.
And it's hard because, like, now every time I see a girl in like spandex activewear shorts and fucking,
so I gotta look at
like,
that ass. I gotta look.
Yes, and then, like, I can't help it, bro. She could be with her dude right there, and I'm still looking.
Like she came out with the pants,
and I'm just like,
everybody go look at that ass. Like, that's what happens.
And I tell myself, like, I'm a piece of shit for it, but I don't know how to fight against.
Till I get past this point where they can't see me, but I'm gonna look back at that ass. That's what's gonna happen. So I'm not disrespectful, so I won't look at that ass in front of her dude, but when her dude walks away, but when I'm past his perspective, just take it back. Look at that ass. I'm gonna just keep walking. You know what I'm saying?
But
yeah.
Anyways, man, that's like the off up. We weren't even. It's not even a topic. It was just something because I just made a random joke about the R. Kelly sex tape, and so we just kind of got here. But anyways, highly offensive, as you can see, new highly offensive episode 4.5 because episode 4 never really happened. Yeah, so now we're doing it again. Like, oh yeah, I etch a sketched it just like like I did to that bitch. You know what I'm saying? I etch a sketched throughout my life. Like,
you can write a new story.
Not even just that. Like, I was thinking about it. I was like, yo, you know, like the power of saying someone's name, like for example, like
like Voldemort.
Or no, not even.
Like I said, oh shit.
Not even like that. Like for example, like, have you ever said a girl's name to her in a certain way that made her pussy wet?
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Like
I wasn't there with a pussyometer. Like,
no, you just know. You don't have to be a forecaster to fucking know it's fucking rainy right now.
You're like, oh.
Nah, but like, bitches would tell me some shit like that. Like, yo, like,
some anime shit.
I like the nah, like, I'm dead ass, bro. Like, a chick, I've had women tell me that they like how I said their name. Like they'll like tell me say it again or some shit. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like you know, talking dirty. Like, I even had like, you know what I mean? Like girls be like, you know, we're fucking, be like, oh yeah, like say that say that, whose dick is that type shit, like, or you know what I mean? Like, and like they just want
my dick.
And I'd be like, yeah, bitch, is my dick. No, bitch, be like, that's my dick. Like, you ain't. I had a bitch like straight up take ownership of my dick. Like, she leased it or something. Like, she was like, this is mine for the next 24 months. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, this is, you know what I mean? But
speaking of women leasing dicks, Kim Kardashian. Back of the highly offensive topic list again.
Only because Kanye.
Because Kanye.
Because he can't. He ain't stopping.
Can't have a podcast and not talk about Kanye's.
At least once now, like with all the Jewism and shit.
Let's read it word for word. Let's break one last window. This is Kanye West. He posted this on Twitter as he does. Let's break one last window before we get out of here. I caught this guy. Kim. Good night.
I love how he prefaces it.
Yeah, like he put like the white guy in front, but cut half his face off. So
let's break one more window before we get out of here.
Yep.
It's like when he was like, "Yo, I'm about to go to bed, but before I do, when I wake up, I'm about to go DEFCON 3 on you fucking Jews."
Yeah.
Like, he's like, hey, before I leave, we breaking one more window in this glass house. Like, I caught Kim K with Chris Paul.
Chris Paul, man, and like I don't know if it's more offensive.
Is this recent?
Well,
no, it was probably probably when Chris Sun was about to win that championship. He was probably like
he was hitting them guts. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if I'd be offended because I caught my girl with somebody, or if I caught my girl with Chris Paul. because Chris Paul's like, you know, he's Chris Paul.
Man, State Farm. He, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
He giving you assist of the day. But
it's weird.
nah, I think it's fucked up, bro. And like, great. So for example, there's two different sides of this, right?
Yeah.
There's the side of, yo, Kanye, you're fucked up for that, because Chris Paul is married. It's fucked up that you airing this motherfucker out, knowing that he's married, and now he got to deal with that shit at home. You know what I'm saying?
It is, but it's not because.
But there's also the other side of.
Was also married
you fucked
too.
my wife.
Yeah, they were married.
Like, there's no.
But
there's no mercy, nigga.
This and I get that, but this is not just only doing damage to him. That's doing damage to Kim K, which is, an extent, doing damage to his kids. Like, I'm sure these kids are getting fucking told what.
Oh yeah, they're probably not even in school, and if they went to school, they're probably going like some private shit.
Yeah, but I'm sure these niggas get online. Like, what you mean? That shit's everywhere.
She has a sex tape.
And I get that, but that was.
It was
like
probably
pre-kids. Like, that's pre-kids. Like,
I'm just saying, like, there's nothing. Like, if at any point I can just pull out my phone and show your mom sucking dick, there's nothing that can top that. Like, Chris Paul is not gonna like tarnish that.
I mean,
like,
it probably fucked up his marriage. You know
no, that definitely probably. But
help that at all. I mean, it's
like, you know what I mean. He'll just buy her a new car. It's like Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart just got caught cheating again.
Oh,
you know?
Did he really?
Yeah, like.
Because I got another pussy just follows me. I'm pussy height.
Did he really?
I'm pussy height. So.
Are you serious?
I'm pretty sure. Like, I saw it on trending on Twitter.
Like,
I didn't get into the details of it.
What's her name? What's her name? Aniko? Whatever her name is. That's what she get. Because there ain't no way I'm gonna forgive a nigga if I'm carrying your fucking baby. She was like weeks away from giving birth to that baby, and I caught you cheating. There's no way. But again,
hitting them skins, man.
He got that money.
He got that
money. High value man. That's what women want. Money. But with money comes pussy.
It's a wrap,
like,
she leaves his ass. It's a wrap. That's all I
And she taking a good chunk of that money with her.
I mean, yeah, he got all them Netflix movies and fucking. But
and she got 2 kids with him. That's child support.
That's like one stand up away though from change. Like, as long as he could just get on stand up and just like laugh at his pain, just be like laugh at her pain, like.
He's gonna be talking about this in his next Netflix special. He's just getting material out there.
For real.
I don't even know sometimes.
He's creating content. That's all he's doing.
It may not even be real. They might be making this controversy to sell us more
think?
shit. It very well could be.
You never know.
It's way too coincidental for all of these celebrities to have these crazy ass stories that just come out of nowhere.
Not really.
Before they drop some shit.
I feel like this is just Hollywood every day. We're just only because of the internet getting
picking up bits and pieces of it.
Yeah, like we're just like magnifying like, oh shit, that's what they're doing. Like, but this is always going on. Like, I'm pretty sure they swap wives and fucking, you know what I mean, swap body parts. Fucking
But speaking of dick moves, you get a surgery and then you're just like, nah, son, y'all, I want my shit back. Like, imagine you go get your dick removed and you're like, you know what? I didn't want a pussy after all. I need you to put it back.
I don't think that's how it works.
I don't think it works.
I think that dick went in the trash after you left.
The dick was donated to science. I don't know what happened to the dick, but the dick is no longer mine, and now I'm left with a vagina. So what I'm saying is, what kind of fucking mindset do you have to literally sign off saying take these titties away?
I think her argument wasn't necessarily that. I think her argument was that the necessary process wasn't followed, because when you have a sex change like that, you have to go to therapy. Your therapist has to okay it that you're mentally sane to do.
I'm saying
that, but it's crazy for the insane person that okayed it, knowing they didn't do it.
That's another.
That's like, you can't say I'm suing your ass for malpractice for some shit that I authorized y'all.
No, but
like
she's not suing. I don't think she's suing.
She's suing because she's saying that essentially the doctor expedited the process and like essentially didn't give her full.
But it's with any surgery. You get. I mean, if we're not even talking about this, we're talking about, let's say, if I'm gonna go tomorrow to get a surgery, I need blood work done. I need all these processes need to happen before I get surgery. That should apply for this as well.
No, not really, because if you identify.
So sometimes in the shower, I realize they're gone. I just have these scars. This person said it was okay.
I'm not
to take these titties away, and they're making these comments as if someone robbed them of their breasticles.
I'm not negating the fact that she gave her okay. I'm just saying that there should have been a process that had to been followed.
I'm sure there was a process, but it just may not be the process that she wanted now that the fucking titties are gone.
What did she say?
Cowell, 32, had her healthy breasts removed in 2020.
Healthy breasts? How do we define healthy breasts?
Her
Like
non-binary gender identity. She said.
Do you have a picture of what her titties used to look like?
I do not.
I mean, I'm just saying. I want to see what healthy looks like.
Maybe
normal. I would assume.
Like healthy as in supple, like.
Her doctor approved the surgery after 2 Zoom meetings, breezing past a whole host of mental health issues.
That's not.
Said that
that's not the procedure. The procedure is you go to a therapist. No,
okay, she's suing everybody. She's suing the social worker, the therapist, and the gender clinics they work for.
But
so it doesn't sound like she's suing the doctor.
Here's the thing, right? We live in a country where we're saying that it's okay for 5-year-olds to be trans. We're saying that at fucking 5, they can make the mental wherewithal to say I'm a whole different other sex. Then this 32-year-old had plenty of fucking time to figure out what her shit was, whether she was she, he, they, them, whatever the fuck that was. That's not on the doctor to fucking figure out. She said, yo, this is what I am. As of right now, I am a man.
Okay,
I just don't have the parts. I have titties still. Get rid of them. And he did it.
But that's not the procedure. Like, we're not, I'm not.
He just matched their energy. That's all he did.
But that's not how you do it. If I have to do surgery tomorrow, legally, and the responsible thing to do would be to do, what is it, pre-op stuff. So, like, your blood work needs to be drawn. You need to, like, whatever consists of the pre-op is what that needs to be.
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that if we're saying that this is
we as a society,
we abbreviated the process, and this 32-year-old woman or whatever the fuck she is now got screwed because they just hurried up and took her shit, then we do not have the right to be taking 5-year-old shit away and changing their shit.
I'm not
but what I'm saying is that we cannot have both. You know what I'm saying? Because if a 32-year-old woman can turn around and say, oh no, I changed my fucking mind, then what the fuck is a 5-year-old going to do?
That's not what she's saying, though.
No. Because she's detransitioned. She's going back to being a woman and saying, now I want my titties back.
Okay, but that's not her argument, though. Her argument is that it was like you said.
No. That's not the whole thing. If you read the whole thing, right? Her whole thing was that she only became a trans because her friend got raped. And then because the trauma that this caused on her friend, she said, I don't want to be looked at as a woman. She talked to her dad about it. Her dad said something along the lines of like, if you dress more appropriate, these things don't happen. That terrified her. She said, I want to be a man now. She then
do you not think that this is something that could have been caught had she gotten therapy prior to this? Though?
I mean, that may be possible.
But that's what she's arguing.
Okay,
though.
But what I'm arguing is that she had decided at that point in her teens that she was going to be a man. The doctor decided to follow up and match what she wanted and designed her in her 20s. Like she had plenty of years to figure out that if she wanted to keep her titties. She had plenty of time.
If I need to get a surgery and I don't want to get the blood work done, and that's not ethical. That's not okay.
We're not. Those are two different things. You're talking about a surgery for let's say you need an organ transplant or some shit. There's steps. Or let's say you need to get some X-ray done before they do blah 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 blah. There was a procedure. She had a fucking counselor. Before she even made it to the doctor, she had gone through and gotten vetted. They said, no, let's fucking...
She just said that all they did was Zoom calls.
Well, no. That's all the doctor did. She did 2 Zoom calls with the doctor before he said, yeah, okay, we could do this. But there was plenty of people that she had to go through to get to that doctor.
She had to get a referral to that doctor.
And on top of years of her identifying as that sex. So now you don't get to identify as a sex for years and fucking and then go, oh no, that's not what I wanted. Well, too fucking tough shit.
You chose this. I can't.
Nobody made you identify as trans. You picked that out for yourself. You wanted to be fucking special. Well, guess what? Now you're fucking special. You're a chick with no titties.
You got to do what you want, and you can't complain about it after. That's my thing. Like, I feel like, yes, there should be some mental health steps to protect businesses, because in the end, that's what it's doing. It's just saying, you want to do this, you're going to have to go through this firewall of shit to get it done. Okay. Like, she didn't go through that firewall of shit to get it done. Not everything that she could have, they could have possibly done to prevent her from doing this, but she knew about her slew of mental health issues. And I feel like mental health issues should be put on the person that has them. You have them. It's incumbent upon you to fix that shit. You went into that surgery knowing you had that shit. Like, you knew you weren't good.
Well, it's not,
So,
not even just that. If we're saying that we can't...
make those decisions every day.
No, I know.
Like,
but the problem is that they don't equate trans, like for example, wanting to be another sex as a mental illness. To them, it's not a mental. I think it's a mental illness, but to them, it's not. It's a personal choice. It's a lifestyle.
Like antisocial disorder. She had a bunch of other stuff going on. But I'm like, if that person, for instance, murdered someone, you can't blame her therapist because she didn't take therapy seriously. Like, that's your fucking fault. In this case, it's your fucking fault. If you were normal, and you didn't have any of these associated whatevers, and you weren't, no one classified you as anything, and you did something stupid or fucked up, it's your fault. And I feel like in this country, we want to put on everybody else but the fucking person. You should go get help before you change your body in a major way, because you know something's not right. If you went and murdered a bunch of people, it's still your motherfucking fault, not your therapist, not your mama. Once you're 18 and you're out the house, you grew a pair of balls or titties, and you walked up out that bitch, and you're paying taxes. All those decisions are on you. If you're fucked up mentally, you need to go get help. Because no matter who helps you, you're not going to take this shit seriously and get better because it's you.
Not just that, you know what that made me think of? You think war veterans out there who are missing limbs don't think that they could just, I want to detransition. I want to go back to what I was before when I had full legs, when I had two arms.
Yeah, this is
before
bullshit. You blew my arms off so you can have the right to take your titties out, and now you want to complain and sue us for letting you have the right to do whatever the fuck you want? You chose to do that.
I have no sympathy.
You, motherfucker. I don't feel bad for you.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Like, it's your fucking fault. There have been many people, crazy motherfuckers, that do crazy shit, and some get off, and some get locked away for the rest of their goddamn life. Just like that kid that ate that person's face, and he got sent to a mental. He didn't serve no fucking jail time, and he just happened to. He's about
to get free. He's about to be out free.
Wow. He's gonna go. He'll probably be on meds for life or whatever medical deal he signed, but he's not going to jail. And that's my thing. Like, we pick and choose these fucking, okay, feel bad for this person, don't feel bad for this person. Your family's responsible. Your parents are responsible. Your therapist is responsible. That school teacher that touched you and you looked at you in the eye, that's why you fucking murdered and decapitated all these. Like, it's your fucking fault. You did it with your hands, it's on you. And that should be the message for everybody. It's your fucking fault. You have mental health issues. You need to go get help. You're going to do something wrong. You need to think about it. You can't blame everybody else. A kid, yes. A kid, I get.
But this is exactly why I don't agree with kids being allowed to become trans.
No, I don't agree that kids.
Period. Like you should be
body chemistry.
You should be over 18. At the bare minimum to become trans.
And that's at the bare minimum because your brain isn't even fully developed.
Yeah, because it's not until 25 that's fully developed. But this is the wave of society that we have created. You think she's going to be the last?
But that's my thing. It's not even like as if this person was like absconded their like social services and they're in a country like Iran or some shit. I'd feel better about it then because I know like society is like, yo, we're not gonna help you.
Oh yeah, she'd be getting like her head chopped off or something.
You can't go to no therapist. So those people like they don't get that option. And you had this slew of options. You had enough money to take them titties out and start a new life. You wanted to be another non-playable character? Cool, that's on you, bitch. Like,
and you know what honestly probably really happened? And because I saw this happen, I don't know if y'all ever heard about the feminist who became a man for a year, and then she realized because she said that men had killed herself. Yep. Yeah. There was a feminist who said that men had it easy, right? So she became a man for a year to see what it was like. Realized how hard it was to be a man and how hard women are on men, and fucking killed herself.
Wow.
This is probably what happened to this bitch. She probably was like, oh, I want to be a fucking man. because you know what I mean. Like my friend got fucking raped by a man, so let me be a man.
Non-binary, so she didn't want to have a sex attributed to her, so she took out her to conform and be. But there's no non-binary like gender, so she just realized like looking at herself in the mirror was just a wrong thing to do, and that they didn't take steps to prevent her from doing it. But I'm like, you signed up for it.
Yeah.
If you were getting lip injections and your lips fell off your face, we'd be fucking laughing at you. If you got your tongue split and you want to look like a goddamn reptile and that was your prerogative, but you got an infection and your shit was all put, we'd all laugh at you. You know what I'm saying? If you got your titties chopped off and you had an infection and it grew to like a big ass melon, no one give a fuck because you chose to do it. You know what I'm saying? That's on you. But I'm not gonna feel bad for you because you didn't go get mental help. Like, there are all these people in the street that don't have even the fucking option to get mental health.
Hell yeah.
They deserve our sympathy and empathy. You do not. You elected to have that surgery. Your mind was fucked up. Guess what? You should have fucking fixed your mind first. That's on you. You can't blame the world for what's inside your head. That's on you, bitch. You gotta go get help. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry.
And it could be like again, because I said I was so harsh on myself that like I'm hard on people where I'm like, nah, you should have fucking known better. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and me too,
because
I'm hard on myself and other people. I feel you.
It's how it is. It's how if I'm as hard as I am on myself about, you know, certain subjects and certain stuff like that, then nah, like you don't get to do that to people. You like that. You think the doctor wanted to chop some titties off that day? He was probably just having like a regular ass fucking day, and then here comes this chick like, nah, bro, I need these titties off, and he was just like, I don't really want to do this, but I mean, she signed the waiver. We did 2 Zoom meetings. Fucking, I guess so. Like,
okay, we're gonna take off this titty. All right, we're gonna pause. We're putting this titty on. All right, we're gonna put you in anesthesia. All right, you're going under the knife. This is where your titties go. Like, she wakes up in the morning, she's like, what the fuck? It's like, well, you want the titties?
It's like sometimes, right? Like when I be at work, like there be people that will order some food, get the shit, eat that damn near the whole fucking thing, and then be like, oh, this wasn't good. I want a refund. I'm not getting it.
Yeah, just
what do you
steal from you. Like,
what do you mean?
Like,
you got what you paid for. You ate the fucking food. You ain't getting no food back.
Can I get my food out of your belly?
Yeah, like throw that shit up. I'll get you a refund. But other than that,
keep it on the ground, baby.
You're not getting no refund. That shit is 3/4 in your stomach.
Speaking of people that try to steal in front of people that they should not be stealing from, this nigga, of course, it's a Florida man. Of course, it's a Florida man.
Florida white man at that.
Florida white man. And usually, it's a Florida man that's white as well. Usually,
it's almost always a white Florida man.
I'd say it's 7 out of 8. Florida man is a white man. So yeah, of course. I looked at the very first line. You can see it. It's definitely a white man. St. Cloud, Florida. The man was likely unaware of the number of Florida deputies that were inside a Walmart store in St. Cloud when he reportedly decided to steal. The Osceola County Sheriff's Office said in a Facebook post on Thursday. So they on Facebook talking that shit. So you know you fucked up. In the post, a man referred to by the sheriffs as Brad was caught allegedly trying to steal from the store filled with nearly 40 deputies conducting a shop with cop. Where's fucking Dan Steele? A holiday shopping event that pairs local children, so little kids, with police. So there were 80 motherfuckers in Walmart. This nigga Brad was high, okay? I'm gonna just call it right now. He was smoking that crystal meth, and Brad was like, I'm gonna get me some fucking PS5 controllers. They're in the back.
Is that what he stole?
No.
Yeah, I'm just bringing it up. He's just like, Brad sounds like a dumbass.
He's imagining right now. But I mean, like, the thing is, like, how did he not notice that many fucking cops? Like, like when you would pull up to Walmart, can you imagine how many fucking cop cars must have been in that bitch? Like,
well, that's what I mean. Like the 40 deputies, 1 cop per deputy, I'm assuming, right? In the shop of a cop. So 80 people, plus whoever wasn't participating. And Brad looks like he just stole someone's catalytic converter. and
he does.
He's wearing 1 long sock with no sock on the other.
Yeah,
and it looks
that's
like
one of the meth boys.
Yeah, he stole the I'm working in the morning at Home Depot equipment. He definitely took all of that because he got some bright gloves and I don't even know what the fuck that is. What is that? That was some wire cutters. Brad was about to commit a felony, and he committed a felony in front of the police before he got to commit the felony. You gotta get your GTA starter pack. You gotta pay for that with cash. I mean, I don't know if you guys know that, but when you're committing crimes, you definitely want to go somewhere on camera or somewhere where you've been before. Go outside of your normal range of shopping. Leave all your electronic devices at home. Pay with cash. don't know anyone there, and never return, and then commit your crime several months after. Not immediately. Not immediately. Are
you giving step-by-steps?
I'm just saying for the future Brads out there.
Have you done this?
I've not done anything that I've been accused of or convicted of in my lifetime.
Like, I mean, I just wondering. That was a whole breakdown.
I've not done anything, Sarah. No, not what you're speaking of. But what I'm saying is...
I mean, no snitching.
I've watched a lot of things, and I have all this information. In the world of information, why would you go to a place with 5 million cameras?
Are you going to be right on this camera? You're putting this out all over the world.
This is why I feel free right now. I got to worry about this type of shit. But I'm saying, if you are a criminal, you hear me, criminals? If you're a criminal, be a fucking good criminal, okay? Do better at your job. Like, why are we here criminalizing shit and we're gonna just end up in jail? You know, in Grand Theft Auto, what happens when you end up in jail? What happens? They take all your fucking guns, they take all your fucking money, and you're just a broke bitch at the bus stop.
I've never been to Grand Theft Auto jail. So.
I mean, I'm just saying, if you play Grand Theft Auto and you get busted...
Oh, that's the old Grand Theft Auto.
You know what I'm saying? You get busted, you go to fucking jail. That's the whole point. Game over, bitch. If you're a criminal and that is your
always
career,
get shot by the cops.
You are a career criminal. You gotta be better at your criminaling. Like, you gotta be. There's no way you're that bad at criminalizing. Like, you should just not do criminal.
I mean, I see it. One cop. And
hardware store. You can get all that shit at a hardware store, okay?
I saw one cop on the way here, and I didn't even have weed on me, and my butt puckered up. I was like,
he's like, oh no.
Let me make this right turn rightly. I'm like, let me just slow down.
Did I turn right? Turn rightly.
I was like, why am I afraid? I was like, I'm not speeding. I ain't got no weed on me. I'm like,
all I gotta say to you, Brad, is just don't commit crimes anymore.
No more.
Get a job at Starbucks or something.
If you can.
Because I know what your criminal
your record
is, Brad.
Probably not looking the greatest right now.
You definitely look at fool with your pants on the ground. I mean, you look really silly right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Brad is not wise. All right, so we got some other topics with their videos. I'm gonna pause it so I want to play. Let's see.
Fourth crypto billionaire found dead.
Oh wow, in San Juan.
Yep. Have you guys heard about the cryptos dying?
Nah, I mean,
the Crippy Crips.
It would make sense that people that have encrypted money and that have a large sum of it are getting murderized.
Puerto Ricans don't.
And the thing is, like the weird part about it is every one of those people that ended up dead put out a message saying like, "Yo, the CIA is coming after me. Like, I may not survive this," and then they just dead, and then it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, bam, bam, bam. Like, so the CIA got a kill streak right now. They're trying to get them fucking airstrikes. Like,
they gotta fund their war somehow, nigga. Okay, they just holding on to all this crypto. They're like, look, easy target. This dude's at this house. We see he's been farming from here. It's getting deposited over here. If we run up in his pockets right now, that's $2 billion tax free. Ain't nobody asking questions. Daddy needs some new warheads. This nigga needs his head blown off. It's very simple math.
Yeah, that's probably what actually really did happen. I didn't even think of that, why they would do it. I thought maybe... But I mean... Why not? Yeah, money.
They know people be stealing shit. They know that. We know that they be stealing shit. So it wouldn't make no difference if some random dude that made a bunch of money off of crypto just disappeared.
That reminded me of not too long ago, they were having a congressional hearing. And Senator, I want to say Rubio, was lighting up the FBI because he was trying to find out if the FBI had any involvement in the January 6th Capitol attack. Yeah. So it turns out there was FBI agents that were inciting the whole fucking thing and were in charge of making this happen. And it's like, when
some of those people catching charges though, so that's
but
unheard of.
It's the non-agents that are getting charges.
Well, of course, that's what it always happens. Like
of course, but it's like
it's not abnormal. I mean,
how can we pay these people salaries, and which we probably don't because they've been probably getting off crypto niggas when they kill them. Hey, but you know what I'm saying? Like, how can we fund these establishments that turn around and they do these things? Like, that's like, sorry, that's literally what we're doing. We have CIA, we have the FBI, people that are supposed to like stop terrorist attacks from happening. They are the terrorists. They are the ones killing people, robbing them, and fucking or inciting capital attacks.
They like that the majority of them don't do it, but a couple. I mean, like with great power comes great responsibility. Who's to say that they don't have like shadow operatives that are just like, you know what? That crypto dude from 5 jobs ago, he gonna get whackety whacked by somebody. And why not me? They can't find me. I'm a ghost nigga. I'm gonna go pop this nigga. Go to San. I'm gonna go on my vacation trip. I have planned with my girl. You know what I'm saying? This dude pops up. I'm gonna run his fucking crypto and murder him. Feed him to the sharks.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
It's and the crazy thing is like that's the world, the reality that we live in. Like where before, like CIA assassinations was like a theory. Yeah. Like there was some shit like you would just be like, nah, the government wouldn't. They really wouldn't. I'm just being paranoid. But you know what I mean? Like, and then Epstein happened, and then remember they were like, yeah, we had security guards there, but they were both asleep at the same time. Yeah, the cameras were turned off
a little bit.
And
goddamn Spectrum.
He was on suicide watch.
Yeah,
I told him to fix that fucking router. Goddamn,
I'm like, how does a guy on suicide watch commit suicide?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, but it's the government. Yeah, like that's just all I need to like for you to tell me. You know what I mean? Like, but
Speaking of 2 white people that let someone die in their custody. 2 black firefighters let 2 black kids die in a house fire. Now, I don't know the particulars of this specific thing, but I would say for sure...
You want to play the video?
I mean, we could play it.
That would be specific.
That would be the specifics, right? Let's see what happens here. Wait, is it... Okay.
They weren't fired for manipulating an official document, lying about their duty and oath to protect and rescue. Let's put up a picture of the family, okay? You see the 2 black children? They're dead.
Oh, wow.
They're dead. Firefighters, 2 of them lied in the same report and said, hey, we did everything we could. We went inside, we did a sweep of the apartment, they did nothing. Not a damn thing. Guess what? They are being protected. But I'm going to expose every single one of them. Keep that picture up. You're looking at Crystal Cooper. She's in the center. She's grieving the loss of her 2 sons, Sierra Mitchell and Lamar Mitchell, 12 and 9 respectively. Dead. A Michigan mother is now demanding answers and accountability. And the 2 firefighters gave an all clear. Now that's important to note. All clear means nobody else should come here to help. They gave an all clear during a house fire that left both of her sons dead. Flint is where this happened. Flint Fire Chief Raymond Barton found that Sergeant Daniel Snagoki and Michael Zlotek completed false reports about what occurred on that Memorial Day weekend fire. He said, yeah, these guys lied. He did something else. They claimed to have searched for the children on the 2nd floor, where the bodies of both of them, the 12-year-old and 9-year-old, were discovered by 2 other firefighters.
That's enough details. Fucking tragic. You know what I mean? We got racist firefighters out there, but I mean, we knew it. There's racist cops out there. There's racist fucking army people. You know what I mean?
Like you're burning alive. You're like, I need some help. You call for help.
Help comes. It's outside, and they're like, nah. What?
Definitely black people living here. Yep, I can see it. Yep. They got big utensils on the wall and shit. Got black people here, so I'm not gonna help them.
Yes.
That's fucked up.
Oh yeah, yo.
I'd find the firefighters and make them pay.
And they're not getting any sort of.
And then when they died, I'd be like, hey, I did everything you could. Fucking bastards.
No punishment, no fire.
Nah.
Damn.
Man, it's fucked up.
I mean,
like, that was a depressing topic. I feel like a move went.
Yeah.
I murdered somebody with my kids.
Mm-hmm. No, I know, man. Like, I mean, I put it in there because I mean, like, stuff like, while I love having funny, you know, jokes and all that other stuff, you know, sometimes you gotta get serious and talk. And these are some real shit. Like, so if you are a fucking firefighter, doesn't matter what race we are, you're supposed to save us all. Like, that is your fucking job. That's what you get paid to do.
If you're a bitch boy, don't be a fucking firefighter. If you're
don't be a cop
on the 2nd floor. You're like, man, it wasn't safe because I felt like, you know, okay, then say that. But don't fucking lie and then let 2 kids die. Like, you guys should get left in a fucking building, and then we should say we did everything we could.
So what exactly did they lie about?
About
saying
what? They cleared the floor. That they cleared that
That they
section of
looked
the
at
house.
it.
Yeah, they probably never went inside.
So, okay. And then there's 2 little kids dead. Like, that's fucked up.
crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't even make any goddamn sense.
But
Oh, man. But speaking of shit that doesn't make sense. Prisoner swap.
yeah,
For real.
The Lord of War versus the WNBA.
the Lord of Vapes,
The Lord of Vapes.
like
Not really either, because she snuck in one little baby ass baby got caught. This nigga stuck in dozens or thousands of weapons in different countries,
Well-
terrorist organizations, all types of shit.
The question that I posed on Twitter is, how many people gotta die because Brittney Griner wanted to get high in Russia?
I'm so divided with this whole situation just because
I feel like no one should be left there, but I feel like at the same time, like, probably not the best person to swap with. You know, if we had
it's a
some
horrible
other.
thing to say.
I mean,
about
I'm just saying, like, it's.
I'm saying,
weighing
I thought we didn't
the outcome
negotiate
of
with
it.
terrorists.
I told you that.
I let this person go. 100,000 people will die.
Not just that,
Most
but
likely-
it's just a
And-
shitty
and-
deal. Like,
and-
think about this. Think about this. Okay, Russia, you're about to get a fucking arms dealer. You're Russia. So you're already you got the Ukraine
need the
war.
straps. You need the straps.
Yeah, I mean, like all this other shit. You're about to get a crazy arms dealer back.
Get the
What do we
connections
get back? Brittney Griner.
No, and
WNBA
I
player.
don't disagree with that. I mean,
You know what I mean?
think
Like,
that
I'm just saying it's a shitty deal.
crazy. It's crazy. But then, like I'm thinking about, damn, this bitch is somebody's kid, somebody's sister.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not somebody's mom, but could have been somebody's mom. Like,
What would you do if I told you, okay, I'll give you somebody comparable. I'm gonna give you Pablo Escobar, right, for Britney Spears. Would you feel like it's a fair trade, knowing likely, not unlikely, but very likely that this is gonna result in many people dying.
I don't disagree in the fact
A lot of
that
drugs
it's
all over the place.
crazy that it's a crazy. But then again, I'm thinking, this is somebody's mom. This is somebody's daughter.
I don't disagree.
I mean, that's everybody though.
I know, but like, and who are we to determine somebody's worth in that way?
I mean,
Like,
and
and
that's
I-
what
and
I'm,
I
and
don't
again,
disagree, and I
is
don't
Brittney
disagree.
Griner one person worth how many people are
Again, I
whose
don't
death?
disagree. I think it's in the bigger picture. Yes, it was stupid.
This
The
nigga
trade
looks
was
evil
stupid.
in his mustache, okay? His mustache look evil. He look like he gonna
I
get
don't
out.
disagree.
Like he got straps in his mustache. Like he just like.
He's like, nigga, I was waiting for this nigga.
I don't
They fuck up and
disagree
have
with
somebody
it. I think
famous.
it's crazy, and it's probably gonna end up in a lot of deaths. But then I'm also trying to play devil's advocate and look at the other side. Like, my thing is that this is somebody's loved one. Like, I agree.
No, I know.
In the long run, yes.
And she has plenty of fans, and I mean, like she's.
I feel like she's
No, but what I'm saying is that this.
wrong in the first place. That she should have never got arrested in the first.
She
I feel like
shouldn't.
it was bullshit. It
For
was
her-
a political thing. I think it was bullshit because other people have.
Oh, I'm
way
sure
worse
I'm
shit going
sure
on.
the Russians arrested her just so this could play out the way it
Well,
played
yeah,
out.
of course.
There's not a
But
doubt
my
in
thing
my
was
mind.
like she's also wrong. Like I was saying earlier, your decision, like you made that choice.
And yeah, you're 100% right. But
She should have had the reconnect in Russia.
Now the question
It
is,
should've been- that's-
will she fucking learn from this, or will she fucking put herself?
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I mean,
People
Like-
like that are
she's in a hard,
entitled.
she's in
They're
a hard labor
entitled.
camp. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure she learned something. She learned how to swing the bricks. Maybe she'll have a better, fucking point per game.
Yeah.
PPG. Or she'll go up after this. She got a little
I
stat
don't think
boost.
so. I don't think
But-
so.
But she,
Because it'd be like-
Like, because it's like I said, I mean, like she's a gay woman who went to Russia to get bring vapes. Like you're in Russia, who's
They
anti-gay.
hate gay people. Right?
Yeah, and then on top of that, they hate drugs.
Yeah, they hate,
So it's like,
they hate drugs that they don't have a hand in, basically, because people do.
why would you put yourself in that predicament?
Situation, yeah.
Where now America has to come fucking save the day by giving up the worst fucking terrorists that we had in lockdown.
I don't disagree. It was stupid.
I mean,
Like-
they probably got other heavy hitters. So it's probably, he's probably like a Jack. Not a kid.
Nah.
He's a Jack.
Nah. If
they
he would have, if they would have had better hitters than him, they would have picked. I mean, I feel like at this point, America probably would have.
We don't even know who they have. They be kidnapping people in the middle of the night. We don't know who they got. They lie to us all the time. They're being honest about this one person, knowing it's gonna make them look like shit. They got somebody else, I'm sure. They got other people, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
But like it was smart on Russia, like for them to do it, because they're like, yo, we'll get this for this.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody told me I'm gonna trade you a motherfucking Lamborghini for your Honda Civic, you'd be like, go fuck yourself. But in this case, we're like, she got, you know. And I'm like, I'm not calling her a Honda Civic. I'm just saying that her capacity to wage war versus his capacity to wage war are it's not even it's like you telling me I gotta fight somebody with a goddamn machine gun, body armor, and I have a rock. Like, it's not even comparable.
That's pretty much the Iraq War.
This person's very dangerous, and we let them go for a person that didn't belong there. Facts. Got arrested for some bullshit. Also facts. Because I just came back from New York and they smoke weed everywhere. Everybody's weed. It doesn't matter. You can go plants. They don't give a fuck about it. It's stupid to be like.
I heard people are now complaining about it because now there's
We're talking about
I just left, and I'm friendly to everybody. Your choice is your choice. But it's ridiculous. It's like you could tell the shit went extra left where they were like, yeah, you're free. Now it's like, we rolling blunts in Times Square. We smoking blunts in front of the cops. People dropping off their kids, smoking blunts like, I see you later, teach. At 3 o'clock, boom, smoking the fucking teacher's face. So like people get certain freedoms and they wild out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like,
I hear people were complaining because it's just like the smell is so overpowering because people are so used to like the New York smells, like the smell of the subways, the rats, you know what I mean? Like
the piss smell is strong everywhere. It's still there.
So like now they're like, oh, well now all we smell is weed, and it's like.
I mean, I think there should be assigned places for that. Just like when you go to an amusement park.
We smoke cigarettes at wherever that place is, when people smoke cigarettes everywhere.
I smoke it everywhere.
That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like. Just and my thought is it goes straight to Isaiah. Like my thought is that like I don't feel like it's okay for me to be walking through Times Square and somebody blowing smoke. I don't care in my face, but you're blowing smoke in my son's face. Like that's not to me. That's not okay.
I remember once I blew some smoke in some kid's face. Like
that's not okay.
It wasn't, but it was like I'll give you a breakdown. It was at Grandpa's funeral.
Damn,
my nigga.
I'm recording right now, right?
Oh, I know.
Like, fuck.
Oh, I know. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
So like, we was at my grandpa's funeral, right? So my cousin that is a pothead like me, you know what I'm saying? Like he gets there, but like mind you, so I get to the funeral, right? And my mom is like, yo. I almost felt like she gave me like a talking to, like almost like when I was a little kid at Walmart, like when she's like, yo, you better not embarrass me in front of these white folks. Like, I felt like it was like one of those. She was like, yo, you better not be crying. Bitch, it's a funeral. Like,
They told you that?
yeah, mom told me, I was just like, yo, don't be crying a lot, like over there. Like what you mean? Like,
extra with the sadness. Hold that in.
I loved granddad. Like, what do you mean, Mom? Like, and so I'm sitting there, right? Like, I'm at the funeral. They got his body up there, and I'm just like looking. They got his pictures playing, music in the background. People just
setting up the scene.
Yeah, like people just around you, just like telling their stories about granddad. And I'm literally by myself because I wanted to be isolated because I knew I was gonna cry. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't like people watching me cry. So I'm like, let me just go in a cut somewhere. And I'm just like, so I could feel like the tears was, but it got to a point where like, it was too noticeable. So I was like, all right, I'm about to go outside because I can't be in here no more, right? Because apparently I'm embarrassing mom. So I was like, let me, you know what I mean? Like not do too much and fucking go outside. So I go outside. So next to the funeral parlor, they got a pizzeria, Williams Pizza, right? It's supposed to be the best pizza in Puerto Rico.
Shout out to Williams.
I never had it before that day. So I was like, what? I was like, perfect opportunity. So I was like, I'm just gonna grab a slice of pizza. So I grabbed, and mind you, I thought the pizza was expensive because I ordered 2 slices of pizza and it came out to $17. And I was like, that sounds like some bullshit, but here's my card, swipe. I got money, I don't care. I'm not gonna complain. You know what I'm saying? Nah, it was 2 whole boxes, like 2 boxes of pizza. So I'm sitting there fucking up. I fucked up a whole box myself. And my cousin comes to, right? And he's like, yeah, what's up, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, cuz I accidentally ordered an extra pizza. Yo, you trying to get some? So I started breaking him off. He was like, yo, you trying to smoke? And I was like,
who you talking to?
let's go. You know what I'm saying? Roll up. Like, so I'm like, where we gonna go smoke at? Oh, we're gonna go to the beach. So I look at the beach. The beach is packed. Like
What time was it?
It was like 2:00 in the afternoon. Like it was early. So you had like all the food trucks out there, and then you had like all the tourists walking past the hotel and shit. And they had like they had a surfing competition. So fucking we go out there, and then we just roll up, and then he just starts smoking. And then like right as soon as he starts smoking, people just start coming through. And I'm just like, we're like in broad view, just fucking chiefing. And I'm just like, this is weird, right? Like, I'm like, we should be like, you know, more discreet about this, right? My cousin, like, he a dickhead. He don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm just like, I'm not going to be the one that's going to be a bitch. Like, if you put me in a situation where like yesterday.
Who's going to be brave? Who's going to be brave?
Yeah. I'm just going to ride just cuz. So I'm just like, yo, we going to smoke. Yo, bro, as soon as they passed the blunt to me, I swear to God, yo, this family just walked past. And it was like a father, a mother, and then a baby on a stroller.
It's so bad.
Oh my God, bro. And it was just like, I must have just cloud of smoke. Fucking, and it just.
Sorry, baby.
And I'm just like, yo, let me just turn and smoke over here, and I'm just like,
that cup or some shit. I don't know how you work that out.
And I was just like, yo, you an asshole for that. Like, but it was just one of those things. It was just like it had become so natural for me to smoke, like, and
that thought in your head, you weren't thinking about it.
Yeah, like, well, that I was thinking about it, but like, it was already. It wasn't my weed, yeah, so you know what I'm saying. Like somebody else sparked up, and then like,
"Yo, baby, you getting high?" That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, you caught in the crossfire, like friendly fire. You know what I mean? But
yeah, but in case in like New York, I feel like that should be like.
No, definitely you should have like.
It should have like a weed sign, like a bus stop. You just stand over there, like all the plants are in the corner over there.
All of New York, like
everybody's like in this one little spot. People get hit by cars and shit. Oh man, but speaking of sticking out like a sort of giants, nigga.
Yeah.
Bigfoot and shit. You see one of these motherfucking TikTok clicks that's playing a video. Going live. TikTok.
Who's it, dude?
Like something built a hut up there.
You might not see me post over again.
They're gonna show it, but
my videos weren't fake.
Giant built a hut.
Yep.
In the same spot.
I was out there yesterday.
That's not a hut. That's a fucking. That's at the top of the mountain.
He a giant who was being stalked by the CIA, and people reported that he vanished. Now, while I can't say if his story is true or false, and the videos are pretty convincing, I'm gonna give an overall take on the Bible and giants for educational purposes only. Genesis chapter 6, verse 3 says that there were giants on the earth in the days of Noah. This was because the sons of God, which were angels, went into human women and begot giants. These are known as the Nephilim. Now Jesus in Matthew 24 said, as in the days of Noah, so it will be in the days of the coming of the Son of Man. But he makes an interesting statement. He says that they were marrying and giving in marriage. Interesting thing is, when we go back in Genesis, and we look at who was marrying and giving in marriage, was specifically fallen angels and human women. So no matter how crazy it sounds, to a person that doesn't take the Bible literally, it's real, and giants exist. In fact, David fought a giant, Goliath. That was after the flood. I'll give you some interesting nuggets to chew on. I find it interesting that in the video of what he said was a giant was on a mountain. How do I say that? Because it's believed in Jewish history that the fallen angels came down to Mount Hermon, and that's where they took the oath to sleep with human women. In 1869, Mount Hermon in Israel, a British explorer came across of what they would call sacred blocks, located and linked to a temple. This is what it said. Hence, by the order of the God of those who do not take the oath. According to the command of the great and holy God, those who take an oath proceed from here. It's believed that that was in link to the fallen angels to create the Nephilim. Let's continue. It's believed by R.T. France that Mount Hermon is also in link to where the transfiguration took place of Jesus. Now, others believe different places, but I just find that interesting. You know in the Bible that God is connected to mountains and high places, and the enemy loves to copy God. Not to mention the military meets on Mount Hermon, which I find it interesting in the video that we just saw. There was the imagery of a giant on a mountain, what was believed to be a UFO above it, and the military trying to block it off. Some of you may have heard the giant of Kandahar. People have been deployed to Afghanistan, and they've seen giants, UFOs, and other things, including a giant that was 13 feet tall, looked hideous, paws are real. And at the time, of course, the government denied it. It sounds out there until you realize they like covering stuff up. And they just recently started to admit that UFO interactions left unaccounted for pregnancies, as in the days of Noah. And that's the government that's saying this. Military pilots are terrified of these things. Some describe them as otherworldly. Spirit world is real. What do you think about this? Put it in the comments. Follow for more. Follow me on Twitter to see things I can't post here.
Yeah.
Shout out to that guy.
Shout out to that guy. Whatever your name is, yo.
But
So Giants in uniform. We're not talking about Dwayne.
what do you think?
Rock Johnson.
What do you think about that? Do you believe in the existence of giants? First off,
I mean, they out here chopping dicks off and titties and shit. So
what that got to do with giants?
the world is crazy. The world is crazy. Shit's going crazy. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if there's fucking giants, Loch Nesses. I wouldn't be surprised about any of that shit. Because everything's weird until we find out it happened. Then we're like, oh, okay. This being in existence is fucking weird. We made it past all of this shit. We're a conglomeration of molecules that are like talking to each other now in a space that's like has an atmosphere akin to skin on an apple. And the rest is Earth. And most of that Earth we haven't discovered or been into. So, like, and we're flying through space thousands of miles an hour around a big glowing rock that's on fire for the next 5 billion years. So, like, that sounds like some crazy shit, but that's what we know to be factual, you know, as far as we understand. So, if for a giant to pop up in that, like, they could have fucking dragons. We could have mages out this bitch. People flying in robes. It wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, it's hard to, I guess, like, believe because they're giants. So, if they're giants existing, like, why would we not have seen them? Of course, you had, you know, sightings of Bigfoot and, you know, you've heard of...
pyramids out there, it's just crazy, Antarctica, all of this stuff.
But you would think that they would have found some. Now, of course, I have heard of that story of... the military squadron that ran into a giant. It was like a 13, 14-foot giant in Iraq. Yeah, Afghanistan or Iraq, one of the two. And also what's noted is they found Nimrod's tomb out there. And Nimrod was supposedly... so Nimrod was a god, but before he was a god, he was... King Nebuchadnezzar or whatever the fuck, who then later became Nimrod, and like
sounds like a Nimrod to me. I would have kept my long ass name.
But
see my name, Nebuchadnezzar. I like that. I would have changed that to Nimrod. That's a bad move on his part.
But if you see his body in his tomb, he's giant. Like
we got freakishly tall people. That happens. Yao Ming is big as shit.
Yeah, but
you think that a remote species of big ass people exists in this world? Yeah, that's very feasible. I wouldn't be surprised.
And not just that, but like it's just like, for example, right? Kevin Gates. You know who Kevin Gates is? Mm-hmm. The other day,
cousin fucker. Yep.
Yeah. The other day, he said.
I mean, he's cousin fucker. He's an admitted cousin fucker. He's proud of it.
There's a lot of people who are admitting that shit nowadays. Like, it's open season.
Yeah, I was already dating her, so I can't count now. Like, that's still your cousin. I'm still fucking her. That's what he said. So he's cousin fucker from that. Cousin fucker Gates to me. That's what
Kevin, cousin fucker Gates. He said that he's a Nephilim the other day. That his mother had sex. Yeah, that he is one, and that his mother had sex with a fallen angel, and that's how he came to be. Now, I think he's like crazy as shit, but at the same time, though, the very fact that like someone of his position is sitting there saying some stuff like that,
this is a lot of
like,
out of the world. Like, this is crazy shit.
Well, not just that, but like, I don't know if you've ever seen the conspiracy theories about like all the celebrities, how they're cloned from like previous generations of celebrities
Because
and
of
fallen.
their ancestors and their faces, like Pharrell and shit like that.
I mean, there's some that are just exactly like they have one where like in ancient Egypt that looks just like Michael Jackson. One that looks just like 50 Cent.
Just like
like,
you know.
One that looks just like Barack Obama and Michelle and their
It
kids.
wouldn't be surprising
So
if they had controlling families behind the scenes, controlling shit, doing stuff like that. I would.
I mean, who knows? Who the fuck knows? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean,
but
the follow where the money goes somewhere.
But clearly, not just in the Bible, but Indians, the Native Americans, they've talked about there being giants. The one in Afghanistan so there is a lineage.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a lot
like
of different people in different regions of the world
and different
that
time
do the same
spans.
thing.
Like there's
Like, people built pyramids in multiple places. Like they're not just in Egypt or Africa; they're in Mexico. But like people, they don't connect the dots in that way. So like it seems like something that's foreign when really they've been saying this shit for years.
Hell yeah.
The chupacabra, remember that shit? Like they talk about that shit, and that was like in Puerto Rico, but also in Mexico. Like it was in mad different places. And how do all these people, thousands and thousands of miles apart, have the same fucking story? Like, it's not a coincidence. Some things just are what they are. You know what I'm saying? Whether we acknowledge it or not, it's a whole other thing. People don't believe in ghosts, but people have seen ghosts. I've seen ghosts. Yep, I've seen ghosts for sure. Like, it definitely happened to me.
And the thing is, like so if you look at Genesis chapter 6, where it talks where it introduces the Nephilim. And it talks about that. It says that they were giants, that they were the men of renown, that they were like famous, like essentially that they were demigods. Well, so like Hercules and all those ancient like demigods that like we thought were just myths and stuff like that.
Maybe they just were big shit. Maybe that's what they meant by giants. Maybe they were like a big deal for their time.
Nah, because David versus Goliath was huge. Goliath was said to be like 14, 15 feet. Like,
who's measuring though?
I mean, like,
the rule is though.
I don't think it's hard to tell like the difference between you and a giant.
It's just biblical.
You know what I mean?
Things can get exaggerated, and they do. Like you could say, everybody says that the heavens and earth was created in 7 days, right? But whose days? Our days? Calendar wasn't even invented yet.
No, but
how do you know?
It could be God's days because
it's like somebody telling you a story after the story took place, and you're like, "Well, I'm going to use my calendar." But you can't. This is God's calendar. Like
the Bible also talks about Leviathan, right? A giant sea creature, right? I thought that was some bullshit, and now I'm seeing fucking giant sea creatures.
Well, you don't know because we only explored 5% of the ocean, so it's very possible there are things of this nature.
But something of that nature, like Leviathan,
maybe it's definitely like, resting. And it comes every 80,000 years.
I know. But what I'm saying is like right, even in North, I think I want to say it's like North mythology. You have Jormungandr or whatever the fuck that shit's called, where it's like a giant world snake. It's a snake that can
wrap the world.
Yeah, or some shit like that. Like, while we sit there and say, "Yo, these things are ludicrous," we have no fucking idea.
We have faults all around the whole entire world. This is not a coincidence. Those plates shift and shit.
Of course. Like even like with these aliens, right? Like the fucking government is admitting that these UFO interactions resulted in pregnancies. Like, that's fucking nuts. Because that's exactly what that sounds like. It sounds like the people from above came down and cohabitated with humans and made some some hybrid.
We explain things and how we know how to express them. And I feel like sometimes things, especially in the Bible, could be, condensed in a way we can understand. So 7 days might be 7 biblical days.
Doesn't it say in the Bible that one day is like
1,000? Yeah.
So, I mean, like,
but
it's possible that one day was, 1,000.
But what I'm saying is, you're. Do you believe in aliens? That those things could be out there? And
I believe that alien is such an odd term to have, in that the whole world, everything in Earth is comprised of what we know. So everything on Earth is not alien. It's from here, right? but everything outside of that bubble is alien. But that's ludicrous because we're just singling ourselves out and saying that we're not alien. Like, the term alien just means not from here. So are there things not from here? For fucking sure, there are. We know there are. I have a wallpaper that's just galaxies, and I have it on 2 screens, and that's like, 1/1,000,000th of the sky. Like, of course there's shit out there. How the fuck did we get here? Like, there's no. It's illogical to think otherwise because we know there's alien life in some form. We don't know of any alien life that has our same chemical composure and makeup. And that makes sense if you're doing an experiment with all these balls that have different outcomes. Basically that's what the planets and stars. All of that is just different outcomes, rolls of dice. It's crazy to think that we're the only roll of dice that resulted in this. You know what I'm saying? It's just
I mean, I think that.
I think it's crazy
because where are all these other?
Maybe they're not here.
You know what I'm saying? Like
we used to think that we rotated around. The sun rotated around us, and we found out that was wrong.
Right. So according to science, it's supposed, right? Like the Earth is on a certain axle, and that's the only reason that like the sun don't kill us, and we have just enough sun. Blah, blah, blah.
Like in the perfect spot.
Yeah. Like so. Allegedly, right? Things are on Earth are like if you look at the world is so detailed, so detailed and interconnected. So and not just us, like even to the wildlife. You know what I'm saying? Like that I don't possibly see that being everywhere else. I mean, now that's what to me, right? Like
you could do experiments like for shit like that. You could let me put this mushroom in this.
Like when people talk about like aliens, right? People talk about aliens being extraterrestrial, right? So they think of these giant spaceships going through space at the speed of light and going through wormholes and getting here, and that's what fucking's going on, right? I don't think that's the case. I don't think that these entities are coming from outer space, because if you think about it, right, like if you're traveling at the speed of light, you're going in a linear motion through space where there's infinite comets, fucking rocks, spaces. You're bound to hit something, and if you hit something at the speed of fucking light, you're gone.
They're not going through space in the way that we understand it. They're going through space. So like if you had like a piece
I'm saying if they're a ship, that means that they have
it's not in that. It's not a ship like a ship in water. It's like a ship floating through nothing, right? But what they're saying the ships are doing is there's stuff, right? So the makeup of life, whatever have you, space, time and space. So time, like right now, the time's ticking, and space, like what my body's ticking out. So they're saying that for them to travel at that speed, it's impossible to do unless you cut through the fabric of space-time itself and you fold it into itself. So you cut into it, and it's like cutting. Like, say I wanted to get to this other side of the paper.
Yeah, I know how it works.
Going through the fold,
I just don't believe it's feasible.
I'm not passing through material.
Like
they've done experiments to show that it's possible to do that, but it takes up so much energy. We don't know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that if there is this realm, and you said, oh, there's this realm and all these things and all these galaxies and all these different infinite possibilities, I would say for sure that out of that we're not one in quintillion.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying though is I don't believe that's possible. I think we're on an isolated structure, and that's why things is so perfect as it is. Now, I could be wrong, right? I'm not.
At least for sure on an isolated structure, no matter what scenario. Because
no. I mean, yeah. But I guess what I mean is that I don't see the aliens as extraterrestrial. I see them as extra dimensional.
I think time being.
Like
I believe that it's very possible. That
what I'm saying is right.
Dimension.
Every fucking civilization from the beginning of time, excluding even if you exclude the Bible, has said these people came from the stars. They came down here. They fucked us, made babies, enslaved us in certain cases, and then dipped. Everyone. Then we accept us, right? Us, we have aliens. These people had gods and fucking all this other shit. We just have aliens. And the Bible tells us, hey, there's fallen angels that did these things. What I'm saying is, it's probably all the same shit.
Maybe it's
like they just changed it. That's why that's why you have the same gods for different fucking like the same Egyptian gods. They have the same gods in Rome and same in Greek. The god
we had
like
different ways of explaining the same shit. So we had Quetzalcoatl in Mexico, right? And that's the god of thunder in Mayan.
a giant serpent with wings. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have Thor, the Norse god, and he's the god of thunder. But for Norse mythology, like, we all had different ways of explaining the same shit. You know.
No, but what I'm saying that there were gods that were similar, even like in their naming and what they in their purpose across different like. I have to like look up the exact examples to be specific, but what I'm saying is that if it's like these motherfuckers are repackaging their shit over and over again.
I would say
like,
a mixture of both things. I think maybe we're the biggest science experiment for the aliens, and they're coming down generationally fucking us, wiping our memories on some Men in Black shit, starting all over again. Like, it's very possible if you're a time being or an extra dimensional being or an extraterrestrial, that you have the time, obviously, because you play with time, to come and go as you see fit, to do whatever your purpose is. It could be also that they're coming from here, that they're here, and that they never left, that they're coming from a different time here. Maybe they're not aliens, maybe aliens are us, like, we don't know. We could be coming in to check up on us, maybe we realize, like, we didn't want to be in our human forms anymore, and we did evolve, and AI took hold, and we were like, you know what, we're going to transition our bodies to electronics, and that's why they can't figure out these supposed UFOs that crash, that they can't figure out how to make them function, because maybe we're an integral part of that. Maybe when it crashes, we die. Maybe we were in that, you know, we just transferred our lives to somewhere else, another sleeve, if you will, another time sleeve. Maybe you're in a different space somewhere else, and you're sending yourself forward or backward in time. Maybe that's what's happening, and that's why we don't ever see them come. We just see them show up and go, and they go wherever the fuck they go. I never seen all the footage I've ever seen of UFOs. I've not one time ever seen these niggas make an exit. Like, see where they go.
Yeah.
I never seen no outro video, got space stations, all this shit. We never see these niggas take the easy path lane and go to fucking Mars or anything. They always just seem to go. And we're like, well, where would they go? Well, it would make perfect fucking sense if they're folding spaces in time to go somewhere else. They could literally,
or they can go in the ocean,
time and go to the fucking, or they can go in the ocean, or they could. These are time folding beings, and we're saying that they propel themselves forward with no type of momentum, no type of heat dispersion, no type of energy source that we can reconcile and say that this is how you get.
But that's exactly why I don't believe that they're like these ships that we're seeing, these UFOs. Like, for example, like I've seen a UFO once that I can remember, and that was in the Middle East. And how fast that shit was.
There's no way.
There's no way that it could. Someone could be physically inside of it. The G-force would fuck you up. Yeah. So all of us are
liquefy your organs. But that's what I'm saying. When they crash or allegedly they find these things, they're not finding bodies. Like, not that I've seen. I'm not a bunch of bodies or anything that's malleable or even makes sense how it could operate that type of equipment and not die. So it's like we couldn't do it. So it doesn't make sense to us, but it wouldn't make sense to us because we haven't made no shit like that. We haven't even gotten to that point to say this is how you would sustain this or use this kind of energy source. We're just figuring out how to get nuclear fusion popping so that we can make shit run forever. Nuclear fusion is basically creating a sun that has infinite energy that's constantly exploding on itself and creating energy. That's what they want it to be. Right now we have fission. And fission's dirty, wasteful, it doesn't have that much energy. But fusion is like the ideal goal. So they think that this type of nuclear whatever object is using a certain isotope to power itself. But in a way that we haven't made. Like on that periodic table, we haven't created that type of element yet.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't know how to even begin to fuck with it or use it in that manner. But these motherfuckers are folding space-time with it and propelling themselves forward. They're like literally creating a pocket to travel through. What we've seen them do is use gravity to shift their weight forward, and they're saying that they must be powered by dark matter or something of that nature, something that would be in a black hole that would pull you forward infinitely without having to use any power. But the only way you can do that is to subvert gravity. We can't fucking fly. I can't grab an orb and just like, see you later, niggas. and just go away. Like, I can't, skip the highway that way. Like, there's no way to do that. And any way that we do that, every single way possible, humanly possible, we exert some force of energy behind it. And to see these fucking things move and have no heat, which is like against every rule we know in science. Like, when you have energy and force, you will generate heat in some form. The heat has to exert itself somewhere. It has to exhaust.
Yeah.
And for it to have no exhaust, no propulsion, no type of engine that we can see, we can't track it, we can't find it. The shit zooms away, 40,000 feet in 1 second. Like, there's nothing that we have that's
They can make curves,
turns, sideways, like all that shit. That tells me personally, as an observer of that, is that it's something that we don't know, and we can't explain it. So you can't really label it anything because we don't know. I don't know.
To me, it's just something that's not physical. That's how I look at it.
It's not physical for us, but like the same thing for God. God can have his kid, deliver him, resurrect it. He can do all these things, and we're just like, how, God?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's if
like,
you have God and all these angels, right? These super powerful, supernatural beings, would it be crazy to think that they could make themselves look like a spaceship and do crazy maneuvers?
I mean, it could be us too. Would that be crazy? That it be
us?
A future us?
Yeah, I think that's.
I mean, it could be a future us thing. We don't know.
I don't think there's a future us. That's the thing. Like, there's the way we're headed. Like, it's like almost we're going to extinction. Like, so, like, what would future us even do to be sending us to be going back into the past?
I had to fix the timeline, bro. You fucked it up like Barry Allen.
If that was the case, wouldn't the world get better?
Maybe it is. Maybe.
It seems quite the opposite. Like, we're just down on a downward spiral to fucking.
Maybe they have to look to the past to find something to use in the future. I don't know. I mean, like, what purpose would you have if it was the opposite? We were just saying it's something visiting. What is their purpose? I guess is the real question, right?
For us to accept them. Like, so for example, right? If you destroy the world, like the countries, the economies, to the point where people are so desperate that they need a savior, and all of a sudden you show up with your spaceship and technology, like, guess who's sucking dick for some spaceships?
Maybe they
like these motherfuckers.
We got these
like
phones and all these advanced.
Oh, that's exactly what I think happened. That's exactly what I think happened. If you watch American Horror Story, that's exactly what they said happened.
The issue I have with it is that we can't get no better technology. What the fuck, man? Like, these niggas are flying around space-time and shit. We're still fucking around with these bullshit-ass computers, all of this stuff.
Yeah, they're not going to make us a threat to them.
No, I'm just saying, like, we haven't advanced far enough, like, to even be... We're not even... They're on some world
bro, just think about 100 years ago. Like, 100 years ago in, 1920. They were on horse and buggy. There was no such thing as a spaceship. There was no TV. There was no... So, like, in 100 years... Just in 100... But what I'm saying is, compared to every human civilization before that...
We would have to grow at the same rate for the next 1,000 years to even begin to get the skin off the tip of the dick of that kind of technology. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not even... A entity that could bend space-time itself could literally evaporate whole cities. I could literally say,
I'm sure.
Let me take this entire country. Y'all niggas have been a problem. You're hiding in the mountains. Let me just space-time erase everybody. I'm going to just put an anomaly here that'll suck up everything. I'll close it up when I'm done. Literally ending all... Like, there'd be no war. Because whoever had that, it'd be a wrap. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying we should, like, be looking into that technological gap. Because we're the most advanced civilization ever to have existed.
That we know of.
That we know of to have ever existed.
They were painting fucking helicopters and teams and shit.
Yeah, I know.
Like, that shit was weird.
But what I'm saying is, though, like, according to the world, prior to us, there was none of that shit.
Yeah.
And then from 1920 until now, we just went bam. Like, we went from horse and buggies to cars, right?
Yeah.
From cars to planes, from planes to rockets, from rockets to fucking TVs, from TVs to flat screens, to fucking virtual reality, to fucking the metaverse. Like, look where we're at. And it's like, that just seems, we just take it like it's normal. Like that's just natural for us to get from here to here. But it's like, look at every other civilization before that. Like in fucking the 1600s when you had the Black Plague, and 100 years from that, you think that they got better at their shit
maybe that's the plan. Like if it is the alternate theory or the other theory and saying that they are coming and visiting and doing all that, maybe they're dropping plagues on niggas. Maybe they're starting pandemics. Maybe they told the operators like, hey, we're gonna put
like COVID. I don't think COVID's natural.
Do a test run and have everybody stay indoors. So we're gonna just drop this COVID on you and see how y'all niggas respond. Based on your response, we'll evaluate who we need to save and who we don't, who's worth saving, who not. We'll give you a score based on it to see how your response is. Like, they could be many things happening. They could have already come down and had their whole conversation. And then when we see those niggas in the sky, there's just a convoy because somebody else is having a combo with a human on Earth. Like, we don't know what's going on. Really. I mean, that very well could be the thing that's going on. I don't know. But, like, it is very coincidental that we get wiped out regularly, on the regular. We get wiped out, history gets destroyed. It's not a coincidence that we don't have a record of the last 20,000 years of everything that's occurred.
Yeah.
You know, and then when we do, it's some spotty shit. You're just like, how did they build the pyramids? Why do they have a helicopter in the hieroglyphics? Like, that doesn't make any sense. They're drawing airplanes. We haven't made airplanes.
Or even, like, the one in the Aztec pyramids where it was, like, the Rocket Man on the seat and shit, like
that they drew that they just didn't have. You know what I'm saying? They were drawing pictures and shit that did not exist yet. So like, there are many gaps in the history tale. So it's very hard for me to pinpoint it and say that anything's true or false. So you don't know.
No, it's just a good discussion because like you know, we get to get in deep into like how many podcasts are going to talk about some Bible shit or you know what I mean, like I mean I'm sure there's some Bible Christian podcasts out there, but like this is like some mainstream crossover shit because it's like this guy went missing. The guy that recorded that giant, he went missing. He's like those crypto niggas.
If we go missing, we
so
happen.
yeah,
it was the aliens.
Listen,
it was one of the two.
I just want to say this to all of you now. I will never be suicidal enough to actually commit it.
Same.
So, should the day come where they say I committed suicide, it was the government.
My brakes went out. My brakes is good. Gotcha.
It was the government. They Paul Walkered me the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
like, anyways.
Recipe, barbecue.
Fucking, what's next on the agenda?
Man, speaking of
racist ass white kids, what's new? Fucking.
Welcome to America.
Welcome to America.
Of course, it's in Kansas. You want to play the video? We can just,
we don't have to because you're gonna get angry. Yeah. Like it's gonna piss you the like.
I don't want to be angrier than I am. We just know that there's some racist motherfuckers out in Kansas.
But I mean, like, so essentially, what happened was there was a high school game between a white Kansas team and a black Kansas team. Fucking, the white kids lost. Then the kids started coming down from the bleachers. The fans of the white team started chasing the players into the locker rooms, terrorizing them, doing donuts in the fucking parking lot, talking about how they were going to lynch them and shit.
Here's my thing on white people and sports, okay? Here's my piece. How many of y'all motherfuckers are out there in the professional sports killing it? So don't get bad at the...
I mean, hockey, I guess.
Maybe. I mean, white people are always
baseball players
brutalizing other people. Yeah, that's what white people do sometimes. But my thing is like you're getting mad about this person having skill. If somebody had more skill than you just have to eat it. It's not like you cheated. I'm sure they wouldn't let that person.
It's like back in the days, you know, you had like white league onlys, right? Like, and then like black people had to like fight for the right to like get in.
50-point games.
Well, no, and then now black people took over, and now white people are like, "Can we play?" And then they're like, you guys aren't really on our level. Like
in reality, it just became fair. It became fair in the sense that they all have to compete athletically, and they have to outperform the other. I can't get mad at the people that happen to be outperforming physically. It happen to be this people of that race have more opportunities to do other shit, and black people, brown people have less opportunities, but they get good at what they actually do. And I can't get mad at them for being good at this one sport that they happen to be good at. There are a lot of Spanish people who play baseball.
Yeah, like Dominicans.
It happens to fucking be that. It's like a Dominican thing to play baseball. Like you can't.
They be out in the streets with like brooms and rocks.
And not like baseball. Like,
Right.
I'm not, like, it's the most un-Dominican thing you could be is a person that's Dominican and not like baseball. Like, you just, it's in the blood. It's in the fucking coffee. You know what I'm saying? And the Cafe Bustelo. Like, it's in that shit. You have to like baseball. And if you don't like baseball, you don't play baseball, you're just weird. You're socially weird. You're probably gay. They probably, you know, well, what's wrong with you? You don't like baseball?
You're Dominican and don't like baseball. You're gay as fuck,
so
bro.
That's one thing. Like, you can't get mad at a specific race for being good at something. It's funny when people they're good at Olympic sports, for instance. You don't see black people like, you fucking suck. Like, no, like, he's nice. You can't do a 1080 backflip off a fucking mountain. I'm sorry. But there's not, you know, this is unheard of in other races. That's the point that makes people, specifically white people, look extra racist. Because I'm just like, you guys are the only ones that ever get caught doing this shit. I've not seen it in, like, a black school where a white kid's killing it, and then all the black kids go after that white kid, and they're like, no, you fucking suck. You fucking, like, I've not seen that video.
Get that cracker.
Yeah, I don't see that. You know what I'm saying? But they always say that the other races are racist, but this is always white people. It never is not. I haven't seen Asian people do this shit. I haven't seen Spanish people do this shit. It's always seems to be one specific race and one specific region of the country that happens to be the racist motherfuckers. Like, you know.
Well, it's because like they're white, so they're all their life they've been told that they're special and privileged and whatnot. But what I'm saying is like, right, like, for them to not be good at something and then to get completely outclassed in something, like, I just don't get why white people can't admit that certain races are good for certain shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like for example, like, if basketball, football, black people got that. I'm sorry. Like, I'll compete, but I know who's the best. Like, somebody black. Like, it's just, it is what it is. Same thing when it comes to, like, hockey. The best hockey player is going to be somebody white. Like, it's just what it is. Baseball. The best baseball player is probably going to be somebody Hispanic. Most likely Dominican.
Most likely.
Big Papi Ortiz. You know what I mean? 60 home runs. Like, fucking Sammy Sosa. You know what I mean? Like,
we grew up before you got out of baseball like that.
If I was going to, if I need some math, some really hard math done, I'm probably hitting up an Asian. Like, hey, I know your parents were gonna ground you if you didn't do your homework. Fucking get to it.
But
like,
I definitely am not gonna be mad that somebody's good at their craft, whatever they are. I think it'd be purple. Like, I don't give a fuck what you are. Michael Phelps is nasty at swimming. Nobody's mad at Michael Phelps. You don't see a bunch of black people like, damn, what whitey at Michael Phelps shit. Like this is a specific race that does.
Because no one gives a shit about swimming.
Specific area. But still, like, who gives a fuck about this goddamn high school basketball game? Like, only you would go that hard over it, and you're not going anywhere with it. How many of the NBA players happen to be white? Like, we got to get that percentage up there somehow.
They got 10%.
It's not.
You think the NBA has affirmative action?
I think it's the best players.
Like, they have like 10 white people. They just like
the thing. The whole filter is who's the best player. You know what I'm saying?
We know you wouldn't make it, but
a lot of the NFL
we need you.
Like, a lot of NFL quarterbacks weren't black at one point. You know what I'm saying? They weren't black. They felt like the person that threw the ball should be a white dude.
So white basketball players is like white people's reparations.
I guess for Kansas, but Kansas should be more mad about Kansas. Like, Kansas is still.
It's Kansas, yeah. Like, so you're still in a shithole.
Known for Ku Klux Klan members and racism, like,
and Dorothy Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And also, like, an inherently racist ass fucking movie too. Dorothy happened to be super racist.
I mean, I don't disbelieve it.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's. But they're known for racist shit. Obviously, they're gonna do racist shit, especially when they're losing at a sport that they're not good at. Yeah. Obviously, you lost because you weren't good. Like, that's all it is. You know what I'm saying? But
they lose because they weren't good or because they were white.
Were they young people? Were they adults?
Both.
Everybody.
Parents. I mean, like, the parents, the kids.
Imagine the headlines if that shit happened in New York and there was, like, all these people going hard on this white dude, because, like, the majority race out there generally, in the city especially, tends to be like the white guy, you know what I'm saying, or the Polish guy. Imagine there was a video online where the Polish guy was schooling them and they all just went after him. Like, it'd be like the end of the world.
Something like that could only happen in Kansas because like try that shit in New York. Like if a white team beat a bunch of like they lost to like some motherfuckers in the Bronx and then tried to like fucking start some shit. Like you're getting clapped.
By Dre. It's
like
they don't try that shit out there. You know
so you can only do stuff like that in the pockets where like the white people are like the super majority and the black people are like the the mind, like for sure like because even like when something like this happens and the cops don't do nothing, the teachers don't do the school's not going to do nothing about. Then it's just like you're all that like
to happen, bro. But I don't know.
But anyway,
strange shit. Simon Cowell, somebody's face.
New face, new me.
Fuck is up.
New year.
His face looked crazy. His face looked like the Grinch from Who Stole Christmas, but without makeup. He looks real fucking like he just stole some shit, slathered on a whole bunch of Vaseline, slimmed his face up, got a nose job, took his cheekbones out. He looks like a different human being.
He does. He looks like he's like an autistic guy who could like put like jigsaw pieces together and shit.
He looked like he jumped in the pit of Lazarus and it left him with the stain of his face. It just looks crazy. He looked real crazy.
He looks like the main character from GTA 3.
He does.
Like real like low, low polygon, like fucking PS1 graphics, like.
This thing looked like a GameCube character, yo. He looks.
And I feel fucked up for roasting him. But I don't think he felt too bad about shitting on people his whole life. So like
an N64 character.
Yeah,
I don't know. This thing's like James Bond.
he got that Goldeneye graphics.
He got that Goldeneye graphics, nigga. He looks crazy as fuck right now.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this man. He looks like a slimy ass Goldeneye character, like one of those secret unlocks you get for opening the door.
Yo, I wish right now we had like a computer to kind of, or something to kind of.
We'll put it side by side.
Because he does.
That nigga looked like they stole him from a Nintendo 64 game box. Yo, I swear to God, this nigga like you blowing a cartridge and you see him when you press the start button. I swear to God, he looks fucking crazy. This nigga looks like some character my kid built on Minecraft. He looks wild right now, yo. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And somebody, here's the fucked up part. Somebody looked at that man in his fucking eyes and was like,
"You look good."
You look good.
Or he's a clone.
I like the new look. Or he's a clone.
Because there was a theory that Simon Cowell's already dead.
I mean, it's weird because his whole chin is different. Like, he's not squared face anymore.
Yeah.
His cheeks dropped. You know what I'm saying? His
he used to have that Minecraft build. Like, no, he looked
like a fucking Nintendo 64 game character, bro. He looked like a secret unlock at the end of the goddamn game and you played on hardcore difficulty. Like, he looked like Max Payne right now.
Yo.
That's what that nigga look like, Max Payne.
Can you imagine, like, his Tinder account? He has, like, all his old pics, and then, like, the girls come over and, like...
Nigga, how do you age backwards? What the fuck happened to your face? Did somebody peel your shit back? Like, somebody put clothespins on his eyes and his cheeks and pulled his whole chin out and then slapped a new face on.
You don't look the same.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you look at the eyes, like, even the distance from, like...
How your fucking post-surgery picture look worse than your pre-surgery?
He looked like he's wearing Simon Cowell's face. Like he just, like, cut it off him and then decided to, like, wear it, and it's just, like, about to just come off. Like, it's just, like, just sliding off his face and shit.
Disgusting.
But...
you want to go over this one now? You can skip that.
What's that?
Cyberpunk.
We can just briefly highlight it. Cyberpunk's gonna have a new DLC pack with Idris Elba.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's gonna be dope.
It's gonna be dope.
Unfortunately, I'm not gonna get to fucking play it because it's PS5 and new gen only.
Oh, they've been on the previous gens.
Yeah.
They've done this. They've done
fucking elitism.
And then they made all the fucking games $69.99. Like, bitch.
And you gotta pay for the DLC pack.
Yeah, they're crazy, bro.
Like,
yo, look, man.
But it is. That's what happens when you get commercial and mainstream. Like before, when
it would just drop DLCs, you'd be able to just play it because they're making it free for everybody. But you know, of course,
and it was supposed to be free. But then, like now that Edge Runners came out, everyone's playing Cyberpunk. They're like, oh, let's take advantage, fucking, and get that shit. And it's fucking, it's retarded. You know what I mean? Because like you're just taking advantage of people, kind of like how some of these doctors are taking advantage of these women with low self-esteem and yeah, because apparently Cardi B's telling people to stop getting butt injections and she got hers out.
Yeah, listen to the doctors. She got 95% of it taken out because she felt like it wasn't good for her.
I bet.
What? Research and
probably movement.
Get you sick, movement, make it pop on you. There's a lot of uptake. There was a movie that came out a long time ago. I forgot. I think it's called The Breast Doctor. I know it sounds funny, but I think it was Nicolas Cage was the doctor. But it was talking about all the women that got breast augmentation surgery when it first came out. And they had leaky breasts, their shit popped, they got
the first batch?
I swear to God.
That's
there was a chick that came in there and he had a bunch of people signing having him sign his titties because he was the first titty doctor. So he was just signing titties left and right. So he thought it was normal. She came to the office and she was like, "Hey doc, you sign my titties?" And she whips them out and it looks like, it looked like gumdrops just went bad in her titties. It's just lumpy, but not like a normal lumpy. Lumps in her shit. She's like, "Signing!"
Like that pancake mix that you still got to keep.
At that time, the doctors were just shoving anything in the body to make it look right. It didn't matter what the fuck it was. But
they was putting concrete in bitches' asses, liquid concrete in bitches' asses for butt shots.
They call them cement booty. They was the backyard butt shots. You know what I'm saying? The back alley booty injections. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what these bitches be thinking. How that shit's cute because now when you throwing it back on the nigga, now you got fucking cement dump trunk, and you know what I mean? That shit hurt.
I know that some people don't believe in gravity, right? Because they don't believe in some of the scientific shit. But guess what? Asses do. They believe in gravity, and as time goes, your body droops. It gets pulled down, just like titties droop. Eventually.
Well, also if you got weights too, you know what I mean, on your body,
weight's gonna droop, your skin's gonna sag. That ass that's 50 pounds over its limit is gonna sink to the fucking floor. Okay, that shit is not attractive. It's unhealthy. You're not gonna be able to walk around with that ass forever. You're gonna have hip problems, back problems, health problems. All for your ass to be fat on IG for some dude to just nut when he sees your.
For a dude that's gonna still cheat on you anyways.
Yeah, you're not gonna. Care.
You might as well get rid of all the fake shit. Then where are you gonna still cheat and get? And he cheating with natural bitches
Yeah, man. Take a loan out for your life. You know what I'm saying? Do that. Start a business. Don't put nothing in your body, man. You don't need to do all that shit.
Or else you're gonna end up like that 32-year-old girl who was complaining about getting her titties taken, and I'm not gonna feel sorry for you. I promise you.
You ignored the goddamn advice of.
Stop putting liquid cement in the booty.
Yeah, man.
If you're gonna get your ass done, do it by the top-rated fucking plastic surgeon.
Cardi B's out here telling you hoes the truth. Goddammit, don't put it in your body if your doctor's telling you not to. But yeah,
served it right.
Take advantage and get that medical advice and follow that medical advice. Don't be out here doing crazy wild shit to your body and then be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that my whole entire body's falling apart." You decided to go do that your goddamn self. So suffer the consequences as they come. That's completely on that ass. You know what I'm saying? I can't even blame anybody else. But speaking of fucking people putting foreign things in their body that don't belong, what do you think of this rock subject? Taking steroids? The roid thing? Roid rage?
So, this whole thing started because... Have you ever heard of the Liver King?
What?
Some guy named the Liver King.
The Liver King?
Yeah.
Nah.
He's like some muscly dude who eats raw meats and shit like that, and so that's how he got his.
He's a Nephilim.
How he got into shape and shit, yeah. But this dude, essentially, he had been denying that he was taking steroids for mad long.
Steroids takers do.
Yeah. So then I guess somebody hacked his email and found his correspondence with his whoever he gets the roids from, and
on Thursdays at 3:00
leaked it. Dude was forced to admit that he's been on the shit, but when they talked about it, now this guy is saying now it's time for us to expose everyone else who's on this shit because it's not just this guy, it's also The Rock.
So Joe Rogan's outing The Rock, saying that he's gotta fess up and come clean about his steroid usage. Which, my thing is, who doesn't think The Rock took some type of roid?
I just think so.
Rock from back in the day. I mean, he is.
He's a Samoan dude, so I mean, I figured a Samoan nigga in the gym.
I think it's age hate because if you look at The Rock and you look at Joe Rogan's in really good shape too, but he's very honest about his steroid usage in the past. He's even said he's taken things that are not necessarily legal for a UFC fighter, but he could take it because he's a grown ass man. But they're both old, and he's saying for him to be that jacked at that age, you gotta be doing the roids. So I I don't disagree with him. What fucking 50-plus-year-old man look like the goddamn Rock? I know there's 40-year-olds that don't look like the Rock, and they never will. Like, no matter how much they work out. So, like, he's doing something beyond, and he should say.
I mean, he has money and has access to, but isn't it his body? Does he have to sit there?
He doesn't have
like,
to,
and
but
you know,
he can't say that he's maintaining this lifestyle, this image, because he has to stay squeaky clean. Maybe that's why he hasn't said anything, because he won't get these roles. But like, he's definitely hitting the juice, man. Like, there's no doubt. With all these workout videos, I'm eating all these pancakes. My diet is 3 plates of pancakes in the morning. I'm eating 8,000, 12,000 calories, and you're working out 3 times a day, every day, shooting movies, being Black Adam, shooting Hollywood specials, and you're telling me through all of that adversity, all that traveling back and forth, a 50-plus-year-old man looks like he's a triathlete. Like, I believe it. Joe Rogan, if he does take steroids, he's not hitting it that hard, but he is also jacked.
Yeah.
But the man has a regimen. You know, he appears to look like in the face like an older man. He doesn't look, The Rock doesn't look like he fits his age group. You put The Rock next to anybody, he looks like
aren't steroids more for your muscles rather than your face?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, overall, his build, Joe Rogan's cut, right? Well, The Rock is massive. He's getting bigger each year. And scientifically, that shit don't happen. It don't happen for that age group. In fact, it regresses. So it goes backwards.
I mean, does he look that big, though?
He's a big motherfucker.
He's a big motherfucker.
He's a big motherfucker. Like, if you look at The Rock from when he first started, like, wrestling, he was fairly large dude. He had wide shoulders. He was cut. He had a decent build. He is fucking massive compared to that Rock. Massive.
This Rock would eat the other Rock.
Rock's fucking breakfast every day. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, afternoon, brunch, whatever. He fucked that Rock up. And my thing is, like, it doesn't happen that way. You gotta work harder when you get older because you don't gain muscle mass. You don't retain muscle mass either, your density. Like, it doesn't scientifically happen. You would literally have to be, have a nutritionist, have them feed. He has a chef, he has all this shit. But what Joe Rogan's saying is that he has all that shit. And he don't like the motherfucking Rock. No one does. So he's saying, like...
Could it be genetics?
Not likely. His dad was big, but he didn't look like the fucking Rock, though. His dad was a famous-ass wrestler, and he was big motherfucker.
But
it would like the Rock big.
Is
not defined? No.
Would it not be fair to say though that because he's the Rock, he has so much money, he would have access to things that normal people would not have access to? So that's why he looks like
apples and oranges. They both have equal access, and they both don't look the same.
I mean, they both are 2 different genetics, though. You know what I mean? So
are.
One's white, one's Samoan. So I think it's like black don't crack.
And Samoan are built big.
Get that. Big, yes. That doesn't make you a muscle-bound 50-year-old. I haven't seen no muscle-bound Samoans that are 50 years old, have you?
I mean, I'm not sitting here Googling 50
I'm
years
just
but...
Generally, when you're 50 years old and you worked out...
I've never met a Samoan in my life, so...
I've seen healthy people.
I've only heard of them. They're like rumors and stuff.
When you get to that age, your body doesn't... It's not set up that way. So, like, it just... it doesn't happen. Older people, you see 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, and forward, they get smaller, you shrink, your body
but
doesn't
you're saying like 50, like it's like 80 or 90. 50's not that bad.
No, 50's not bad. I'm 35, and I'm miserable.
Yeah, but you don't follow the regimen.
For a reason.
Play this game. Put that 50-year-old in a room with 1,000 other 50-year-olds from Samoa. And that nigga walks out after beating their faces in. Okay, not one is gonna look like that.
I'm sure there's a possibility that he does it, but
he probably has the same shit LeBron on.
If you did Squid Games with The Rock being the main contestant and 1,000 niggas his age group from the same,
he would have lost. He would have lost when they were walking on that glass. Shit would have cracked right underneath that motherfucker.
Squid Games. I mean, like, the Squid Games is The Rock. Like, you gotta beat that nigga. He just gotta fight 1,000 people. He'll fight one a day.
But 50's not like 50. You're making 50 sound like it's 80 or 90
but it's still pretty good.
Person that age would not be that.
I've seen
but
like
he's not though. like you said, he has access to things that we don't.
But other 50-year-olds that have access to things that we don't does not look like that nigga.
You can't compare. Like,
these are both people that work out.
50-year-olds.
All right. So let's compare. They both work out daily. They both have nutritionists. They both have access to unlimited amounts of money. They can both literally eat and drink whatever they want.
But like Jose said, they're complete. You can't compare the genetics.
You have two athletes of the same age group that look completely different.
They're not the same genetics, though.
White people crack easily, though.
But my thing is, like, if you had two people comparable, they would be of similar physiques and body builds if they had similar regimens. It's just how.
Well, if we find another Samoan one day, we'll compare. But it's just really hard.
Find another rich Samoan with unlimited access to money, okay. But what I'm saying is, athletes that age with the same access do not look like that. And Joe Rogan literally says he took steroids, so it even makes it even worse.
But I remember him in like Fear Factor. In Fear Factor, he wasn't that.
No, but he was a fucking a martial arts karate specialist and black belt.
He used to fight.
But karate, but exactly. And when you do karate, you don't need to be big.
No.
But he did wrestling.
Say for instance, Kurt Angle, also a wrestler, also in the.
But you can't compare that, man. They're not both Samoans. He's a white guy, and it's not like I'm
talking about genetically at that age group. Fuck race. No one looks like that.
I don't know. Like Mike Tyson looked pretty decent. Like when he fought.
But Mike Tyson's been Mike Tyson since Mike Tyson.
I'm saying, but Mike Tyson's like 53, 54. So I'm trying to think of like someone in the same age.
Look at The Rock. They don't look the same. They don't. Mike grew a beer belly and all that shit. Like, they don't even look close. Like, give me a 50-year-old that look like The Rock. Give me just one. Just one.
Jeff Bezos?
No, that nigga's bald. He's definitely out of shape.
But he's ripped.
He's ripped and small. That's my whole point. No one got big like The Rock. And you don't get big with age, you get smaller. That's just science. Like, it doesn't... There's nothing that makes you get bigger. All this shit that you had, all your testosterone, all that's gone by the time you hit that age. You start losing testosterone. So you'll get smaller, no matter how hard you work out.
So speaking of losing testosterone, how much testosterone do you think that guy lost when his pants got knocked off in the middle of a fight?
I mean, damn, bro. I don't even know. If I got my pants knocked off of me, I would just stop fighting. I remember punching the kid out of his sneakers. I uppercutted this nigga. He flew right out of his Uptowns. He had the mids. The white ones, they were fresh. It was summertime. He caught this uppercut.
He described the scene. He was like, it was 8.
Yep, he caught right out of them bitches. I think it was like a size 8 or some shit. I was holding his sneakers and I threw him on the fucking phone pole. But you can get knocked out of some shit. And this dude was very ill-equipped for this fight. He showed up to a fight, right? You got on the spandex draws, you know what I'm saying? The boxer briefs, the standard jump-offs. And then you have the sweatpants, but the sweatpants ain't got no drawstring. Now you know when you can put your fucking phone in your pocket and your pants are gonna fall because you're wearing sweatpants. So you know that's not the proper attire to wear when you're trying to keep everything together and you're moving around fast. Like, he wasn't even set up for the fight.
Yo, play the fight, yo. You got.
The other dude that came for the fight.
That white boy was ready, yo, because
smoky smoke.
Not only did he knock this nigga's pants, knock him out of his pants, but I sent the video to the podcast group. It was the last thing I sent in the messenger.
That's right.
I don't remember. But he caught the other dude trying to sneak him.
Right angle, hit him with that right angle, right in the jaw. Ass cheeks out, looking dazed, confused. He want to go for it, he don't know how to go for it. So I'm saying, he came ill-equipped, man. Came in the fight
sagging. But it sweatpants, his whole boxers and shit.
I mean, he don't look like he a fighter, man.
Yo, somebody screenshotted it, posted it, and it was like, yo, bro look kind of thick. I was like, God damn.
I mean, he's kind of big. He's a big dude, man. But you can't walk into no fight. You know what I'm saying?
But this is like, you don't, like, for example, right? Like when you're in a fight, you're not thinking that people are about to record it. It's about to go online. It's about to go viral. That's not like what you're thinking about. You know what I mean? Like, you're just like, yo, this white boy in my face talking shit, blah, 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 blah. I'm about to beat his ass. Like,
and somebody else is recording. So, like, they're behind them while this is going on. It's like, yeah, they were fighting. They had a little scuffle.
And usually, like,
you just caught his ass. You caught his ass good.
Usually, like, it's black people beating up white people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, and they might have been recording and thinking like that white boy was about to get it, like, too. But yo,
But
that white boy served.
Back.
Yeah.
Yep. He dodged.
Not just dodge,
right
but
fucking chin.
if you see in that fight, yo, he set him up perfect. He gave him a two-piece jab, like plop, plop, and then just wailed with that
right
hand.
there.
Like I was like, and then right after he caught him, goes clank as catches the other dude as he's coming. Like
got him right in the shit.
Plus all the ducking and weaving. Like yo, that nigga can fight.
Yeah,
like
he's ready for scrap. You know, you got drunk. Like I'll wait for this nigga to swing on me.
But speaking of getting ready to get swung on, this pastor is about to get swung on because he was
pressing my guy over these times.
Yo, like I didn't know church thoughts that theories.
I didn't know
like
you going to your salary, checking your 401k and shit to see if you had set up for that 10% or not. You know what I'm saying? 60.
Let me see them tax returns, nigga.
Let me see the return.
Like
involving this man's wife is just very weird. You wanna play it or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you can play it. This shit's hilarious.
I understand his position. Yeah. I'm getting into the position in front of my face right now.
The man at church.
In the room is this, and that
Elephant in the room.
Yeah, the elephant in the room is that.
Man, I'm alive.
Okay, well, we have to deal with the elephant in the room and the elephant in the
Pastor,
room.
I'm just be honest with you. I'm not going to come up here and give y'all all my money that I make every month. I'm just sorry. I be fair. I put $20 a week, and then sometimes I feel good. I have
$20 a week is like giving a dog.
It's basically $1,000 a year.
That's my business. That's what it is. You get your 10%. You get your 10%.
I wrote it down.
Look at.
Well, she wrote what you make, and it does not.
Well, I got you just 5 minutes. I'm not gonna let y'all attack me.
Well, we know.
You know, I know robbery, strong arm. You ain't gonna rob me, and I'm agree to it.
Well, let's talk about robbery.
Yeah, he drunk. He got it.
Or high or so.
No man robbed God. Say, yea, ye have robbed me in your tithe and offerings. You know, that's where you rob. That's where robbery happens.
Man, let me tell you something. I really don't even believe in the 10%. I'm gonna just be honest with you. I think that was man-made. You feel me? Because back then, when they came up with 10%, ain't nobody had jobs. So where the money come up with 10% at?
Who told you folk didn't have jobs?
What job was? Everybody paying everybody with apples and oranges and bananas.
They had
What black folks you know had livestock?
don't have to be black.
Yeah, half a pig with one leg.
Don't have to be black folk. The black folks had livestock.
The ones that had.
I ain't have half a pig.
You got paid.
You probably had it.
You don't have to
Well, let
pay
me share.
the
I didn't have it.
Let me share this. Because
Keep going. It gets better.
And I'm not neither.
Some money because the church is well taken care of before you came. We're trying to allow you to be blessed because the blessings of the Lord, according
Bless,
to
give me my money away, Pastor ain't gonna bless me.
You're not giving it away. You're doing what God said do with it. You're not giving it away.
You got sharing a destiny here too?
I don't need nothing to tell you the
Let me
truth.
share with you what happens normally when people don't tithe. When people don't tithe, normally they'll end up being sick. They'll take it to the doctor. They'll take it to the
You don't get
dentist.
sick when you get
And
That's
they
why I
tithe because God is going
I
to
tithe.
get his.
That's why I tithe.
Yeah.
You know, I think
He gonna get it somewhere. Somewhere. Car breakdown, hospital, Chinese.
well, I bought the car from you.
When? Is it still up?
Yeah, it's still up.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, this shit breakdown, I bought it from you. You the one sold me the car.
You had to put
Y'all is a part of all my life. Y'all know that,
You
right?
had to buy a new tire for that car. Quit lying now. You had to buy a new tire for that car, and you had to buy
I ain't talking about that, man. Stay out of grown man. But you shouldn't even be in here talking about my money, no way.
Your money is our money.
I see.
I put that money up for you and
Now, the
me.
part with me grabbing the collection box, I'm sorry, but some had went in there that belonged to me, and they took everything in me not to go in
So
that
what you
box.
saying? You just want to change.
Exactly. And everybody walking around acting like there's no change to be given. You know. So, you know, I just,
What?
I wanted my change. I wanted my change, yeah. Yes, I wasn't gonna put no whole $100 and I ain't got but $100 left.
What's the tone about changing this church?
We don't get change back.
I know it. Y'all look like y'all don't get changed.
It's like the Kool-Aid. We don't get change. When you stick it in there,
I didn't stick it in there.
when your wife stuck it in there.
Well, that ain't my hand. And I feel like I got robbed. I started calling the police.
Let me show you something right now, Brother Terry. That's my sister. Don't be talking to her like that. I don't respect. I hate that. I've been listening at you talk to her all type of way. Don't do that no more. So you gonna have to speak to me personally.
That's his sister.
See, folks don't say that stuff you do at the house. You come to God.
I do at the house.
I must be sitting here. It must be look like I'm sitting here doing jumping jacks or something.
Well,
Ain't no current me. What you saying to me? That's your sister, but this is my wife. And when I'm the man of mine, I pay the bills and mine. I hate we having this conversation in church. But you brought it to my attention. You need to let me know when you pull up next time at my house.
The money go in that box. Then I put that money there for
You not need to say nothing else today.
Hey, me. Tell. Now, I'm not going to listen to that no more.
Because you gave me folk my check stub.
Hold on. Don't do that no more. Please don't do that.
Y'all looking like you.
Yeah, we do. We both do. We family.
You kitchen it on.
They don't. I see we need to speak to each other on a personal thing.
Yeah.
See,
With white beaters on.
With white beaters on, you know what time it is.
Yup.
About to get these ties and these hands, bruh.
So what do you think about that? Yeah, I mean, what do you think about the church asking for a 10%? You think that's like
Too much?
none of that is too much, but do you think that's acceptable for churches to even be asking, like demanding money from people, their members?
Thing is like when you join a group, you know what they about. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like with churches, they're supposed to be like a house of God, but generally they turn into some social type gathering, and you're either included or you're excluded. So like there's a whole dynamic in church that we're like to the point where people don't even go to church because they don't want to deal with that dynamic of it, of going and feeling obligated to participate in whatever people, and it's a lot of it is just intimidation. They intimidate you to do certain things, to believe certain things, but I feel like a faith is not really a faith. You have to be forced to do it. If you believe in it, then you should do it willingly. And anytime you force, it's like a form of extortion. Like you're here, you're not worthy of God if you don't give this. Well, what if you can't give it? What if you have to give that money to something else that you need to? You know, what if that's the case? What if you give 10% of your time and not 10% of your money? Like, it doesn't have to be that. Maybe you give me a day of the week because you can't give me tithes. Give me your time. And like a church especially, you're trying to build, you don't always need money. A lot of the church activities is tax-free. So what are you doing with the money that you always need money from? You have literally don't have to pay taxes on any of this stuff. Everything's contributed to us. If you're coming here for God and we're just paying to keep the lights on, to keep the building here, to rent the building, and you can have church at a building you rent at a rec center. You don't have to have church in an actual church. Once you build a church, people come, but once you build a church, the only expenses you have is from, activities, things you guys agree on. But you don't need to have everyone contribute 10% because you got to see the fruits of that beneficial relationship. But if you feel like I'm putting 10%, you're putting 10%, everybody's putting 10%, but we're worried about bills or we can't throw these events, like you worry about who's the treasurer now. Like I feel like when money and church go together, bad shit happens.
I mean, yeah, that's a given. That's the reason the Catholics, the richest church in the world, and they don't end world hunger. But you know what I mean?
Open your gates, Rome.
What you want to call it? Like, what I don't like in this situation, and I definitely agree with a lot of what you said because I'm someone that used to go to church and I stopped because of a lot of that dynamic. Is like how he said oh well, he gonna get it out you one way or another. Your car gonna break down. You gonna get sick.
All
like he was like
almost
kind of like he was like threatening him with shit. Like you either gonna give God his money or God's gonna come do this to you. And it's like that should never be like how you try to get somebody to pay the 10%. Like the 10% should be something that like if somebody gives it, it's willing and out of joy, like because they got it like that. All right, cool. I can just break this off and that's not gonna hurt me, whatever.
People
but if
give those, they felt like like they had one, the ability to, and two, that it was doing something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if they felt like, man, they just built a new library, or they just had this youth program for the kids, or we're going on this trip, you know, out, we doing missionary work. You know, like I see where the money's going. No one minds giving that money. That's why those like charitable donation places, those stores like Roundup. If you know that charity and you know they do good work, you're like, yo, I don't care.
I'd be like, nah.
I mean, but if you saw,
I'm joking. Did you see CVS got sued?
What? For forcing?
Nah. So like, I found this out because of the Joe Budden podcast. So I'll have to give him credit for that. But so apparently CVS was asking for donations for the American Diabetes Association or some shit, right? They had pledged a certain amount. So then when it was time to pay up, they kept the money. So then the American Diabetes Association sued them for not giving the money that they had pledged. So to pay the money that they got sued for, they started a new donation for the American Diabetes Association to take that money and give it to the... Yeah.
But yeah, those charitable donations, they never seem to be charitable.
Yeah.
Honestly. It seems like the money goes nowhere. And I feel like when you're at church, if you force anything on anybody, anything, even just believing, like that's because it goes against the whole entire religion. It's supposed to come from within you. Well, it can't come from within you if everybody's forcing you to make a choice that you don't believe in.
Not just that, but like what Christians have to understand, and is that they're a representation of God, whether they understand it or not. Like, people are gonna see them as a reflection of the Creator. That's why, like, for me, like, I don't, like, even though, like, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist, I, like, or at least, you know, to some people don't think I am, because I drink and smoke and shit. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, I try not to talk about that too much, because I don't want to misrepresent God to people. Like, I know I'm not perfect. And if I sit there and go, oh, no, but I'm self-righteous and I'm Christian, you're going to be like, bro, I see you smoke. I see you looking at fat asses. What kind of Christian are you? You know what I'm saying? Like,
that ass is so fat. I'm sorry, man.
But, you know what I mean? Like, that's what they have to understand, is that they represent God. So when you sit there and you try to force people to do something, or you threaten them, like, people hold grudges against God over some shit that their pastor did to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, people stop believing in God. People will hate God and have that anger there over something that God did not do to them. Something that a pastor or even another church member might have done. So that's what people have to start to understand, is that, yo, like, you are a representation of the Lord. So if you're going to represent God, represent him properly. Like, yeah, in Old Testament, God was all fire and brimstone and all that shit. But New Testament, he's forgiving and loving.
He's up a little
like,
bit. It's like God had grandkids, and he's like, all right, I'm going to be nice to these ones, because I'm stuck with the other ones. So it should have felt like okay, like dad's granddad God now, you know, grandmom God, however you believe in it.
And that's sometimes what I don't see in church, that what I don't, like, for example, right, like, I'll go to church, like, every once in a blue moon, and almost every time I go, it's the rapture. Yeah. If you're not ready, you're not going. You better be fucking ready. Yeah. And you're just like, fuck, man, like, I gotta live in it.
Like, you're Jewish, you don't even believe in being in hell.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, for example, like, let's say you're like one or two that believe in the rapture. Now you're in a state of fear, constant state of fear of, I need to get God's approval or else I'm not going. Like, I can't live life like that. Not that I shouldn't live life to not please God, but that, like, I know that I'm gonna fuck up at times. I know I'm gonna do the wrong things at times. I'll ask for forgiveness later and be like, yo, God, my bad, I was bugging. But I can't live life in a way that, like, is just, like, in fear of God. Because then it's like, fear should not be what attracts you to God and what brings you to his religion. Like, it should be love. It should be worship. But you should never be worshiping out of fear, because fear is like fucking, like, God's a criminal or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, like that's not how
But I mean, I don't know, because a lot of people get with God because they're scared of what's going to happen when they die.
Of course,
fear is the motivator.
I mean, there is
the motivator
fear is always gonna it plays a small part. Yeah, but it should not be the driving factor
But that's the,
for
I don't know, bro.
why people worship God.
That's the advertisement for Jesus, though. Believe in me, eternal life you'll have. Like that's literally the line that every religion that's Christian, Catholic, they believe in that. That's what they believe. That's what gets people up in there. Though that's why you see an influx of older people that go to church a lot because they're closer to that end part of their life. They're like, yo, I need to repent. I need to make up for what I did. I need to contribute my 10%. I need to check all their boxes because they're about to check their last box. So they're just like, yo, I need to make my life right because this is my only opportunity to, and I'm not going to have any other opportunities to. If I'm not right with myself, I'm not going to make it. You know what I'm saying? So
I understand what you're saying. It's just that I feel like those people are the people that tend to fall out of church quickly.
Well, those are the people that don't fully always believe, because a lot of them don't believe. They're scared of the outcome, so they're like, well, you're not living your life right. You're going to end up like this. If you don't believe in it now, then but what about you, though? Like, you hadn't been in church those last 20, 30 years. You've been fucking the world up doing your own thing. And now God's important because you're about to die. Like, now he's important. And now because you believe in that so sternly, you want to enforce that on other people that come in. And you don't make them feel welcome like it's a church. You make them feel like they need to have church somewhere else or not have church at all. Maybe do the Bible thing on their own and discover God by themselves. But, like, that makes people not want to come to church, but that seems to be the dynamic. There's always a group of older people. They've been coming to church the last 10 years. You know, their husband died, their wife died, whatever. They're about to kick the bucket. They're like, yo, we need to get together and have these events and include the children and let them know God's important. And some of them genuinely, seriously believe in it, and they really want people to come to church, and they really want. But other people are... a lot of people on that other side where they're just like, I'm close to death. Everybody else needs to feel this. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else needs to believe in what I believe in. Much like it is with politics, a lot of the people that make the laws that are fucked up are older people that are out of the times of what really is going on. They're just like, no, everybody needs to believe this. You have to live life like this. You can't have this binary shit going on, like this gender thing. You can't pick male or female. Like, that's not your choice. Like, they're enforcing certain things that not everybody as a collective believes in. The overall majority.
Off topic. Did you see Biden's non-binary press, or is it the press secretary, or one of his cabinet members that's like non-binary got arrested for stealing people's luggage? It's like a second time.
I mean, he's a hair sniffer in chief, so it's not weird. I mean, it's not that weird. People do weird shit all the time.
Nah, man.
Stealing luggage is pretty low on the totem pole, I feel. It's weird.
It's low on the totem pole, but it's kind of fucking weird.
It's weird, but like, maybe he or she or they are like to sniff underwear, and that's their fetish, and that's what they do. But like, out of all the crimes in the world, underwear sniffers are the lowest on the totem pole for me.
Yeah,
I'd take child pedophiles, hiding, laptops, that kind of.
But I feel like that's where it starts. Like R. Kelly with the mug.
Underwear sniffing, and
like,
it just progresses.
Like R. Kelly with the mug. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh no, I just want to drink my mom's coffee, like, and taste her, her lipstick.
Your mom's lipstick versus sniffing Traveler's underwears.
It's gotta be like right up there. Like,
they're both equally weird. I would say they're very close to each other.
Not to say that just because you're non-binary, you're gonna end up a pedophile. Just saying that this dude's like into some weird shit though, or whatever the fuck they are identified.
Sounds like he was a plant, like set up or some shit.
Yeah, like, I mean, like pushing the agenda for him.
Yeah.
But
speaking of shit, people being set up.
Yeah,
Mike New Mexico State star player got suspended after he was set up and got jumped, and he killed one of the people that attacked him. So basically, he was set up by a girl.
I bet you she was white or something.
I mean,
I have a feeling.
We don't know the color of the persuasion. We know he was a black man.
Try to Emmett Till him.
They were trying to Emmett Till this man, try to kill his ass, and then he got suspended after killing somebody that tried to kill him. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this. I feel like when people do this type of shit, they suspend people based off of how it makes them look. It's stupid. Like, at the end of the day, like, the person's guilty or not. When they get found guilty, then you disassociate yourself. But y'all take money from all types of people. I have the biggest disdain for college basketball, college sports in general. Not the sport itself. I love the sport. Love the idea.
Just the bureaucracy of it?
I don't like how they fuck players over. I actually wrote a whole 5-page paper about this. It was like one of my thesis papers for my like class for sociology. And I wrote about how they take people, young adults, and they influence them in a way that they feel like they have to make one of those top schools, those division schools. And then there's statistics out there that they just don't talk about. So, like, one statistic, for instance, just drop this for everybody that plays basketball, only 0.01% of y'all make it to the NBA. 0.01%. $billion industry. We pay all this money to NCAA to regulate these tournaments, and ESPN gets on there, sponsorship, all this shit. The college players get absolutely dick. Nothing.
Well, I think that's before, right?
Huh?
Because then they sign some new deal where they have to...
Whatever. They have to basically not penalize them for getting things, for being players. So now they could, like, I think they could, like, sell their player cards or whatever and not get kicked out. But my thing is, if they get injured, if they sell, back in the day, if they sold, like, any of their memorabilia, they did any deals with any professional teams, they literally get kicked off the team. And generally, these same teams are the kind of schools that you would have to pay $40,000 a year to go to school for. So if they get injured or are unable to play anymore, they are not liable for that tuition. Which essentially means their fucking life as they know it is over. And then mind you, these same people went to high school, performed extremely well, got scouted, full ride scholarship, cool. But little Billy fucking breaks his back getting tackled, no medical bills, no fucking tuition, fuck your dreams. Your life is over. And that's for all of the college players. So any of them get injured, it's fuck your life. There was a dude that got tackled from the back in Texas. He was paralyzed. They kicked this man out of school. They took away his tuition. He no longer went to that school. He no longer played football. There was another kid
it's Texas,
in another state, I think it was another southern state, Louisiana or whatever, and he was getting scouted by a professional team. They were coming to his house saying, we want you to play professional. He told them, no. I want to finish college. I'm a junior. I want to become a senior and finish college. They literally told the NCAA, he's proffering a deal with us. They took away his scholarship. They took away his tuition. He was a semi-pro baseball player after that. So they twinkle this little shit over your head, but they don't say only this many people would even make it to the NFL. Only this many people would make it to the NBA. Only this many people would be professional soccer players. Like, they don't tell them that, but they use their bodies to make billions off of. And let one of these niggas sell a trading card with their own face on it, and you lose everything. That is, you're literally pimping out college athletes and not even being decent enough to offer them health insurance, life insurance, any type of assurance, but you will make billions of dollars off of them all the time. In fact, schools get influenced by tuition, and they get paid money based on how many kids they get, and how successful their athletics department is based on how much funding they'll get for their school. Right. So how good y'all motherfuckers play, and how many tickets you sell, and asses you could sit, and people you could get to watch these people that are playing for free while in school, just to stay in that kind of school. Sometimes it's a good deal. Sometimes it's a great deal. But I feel like if you enter into a contract with young students and you say you are allowed to play this sport, you should treat them or compensate them in a way that would be comparable to a professional league. Right. If you're going to be selling it as a professional thing. It's like me starting a fucking, this is a bad example, but a fucking fight club for high school students. And I don't pay them. They make it big, they get to the UFC. They don't make it big, they injure themselves, fuck them. I'm not paying for health insurance, and I'm sorry, you beat your brains out, you're going to be retarded for the rest of your life. Like, whatever. It's the same exact thing. But it's just that they do it in your face, and they make you feel good about it. People pay all this money for professional sports, and that's why I personally fucking hate it. Because I feel like even the people that are talented don't even get to that discussion unless they impress some dickwad from a fucking college scout saying, hey, you're able to pay for this team. Then when you play for that team, if the team sucks, you don't even go anywhere with it. If you're talented and you get injured, you're fucked. You don't get it anymore. And if you can't play, you're ineligible. You lose your scholarship. So it's like there's all these things against these students. They have no type of reassurance.
I mean, this is a tough situation, right? Because like on one hand, you know, you got the star player who gets set up by a female, and then he gets jumped, ends up killing the people. One of the guys that tried to jump him, right? Like if in a real life situation, that would be self defense, and that's the end of it. You know, you're not looking at it any deeper than that. But because this guy is the star player for the team, now they're looking at it different because it's like, well, he's a murderer now. He's not just a star player. He's a star player who murdered somebody, even though it wasn't self-defense, but you still got blood on your hands.
Technically, it's manslaughter.
You know what I mean?
If you slaughter a man and you didn't premeditate it, it's not murder.
But I mean, like you saw the caption. Yeah, I mean, like star player murder. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, that's the negative connotation is that when you put that there, you're not. No one's looking at the self-defense. You're just looking at this college student who's supposed to be a role model, who just, even though he was in self-defense, murdered somebody. Yeah. And it's like, well, how do you market that?
But here's
you know what I mean?
Like, we had that same college athlete that raped that girl. Remember they raped the girl? And then he got off?
I don't remember.
They didn't kick him off the team. They didn't suspended him. Nothing. He was playing.
I mean, I could see it because, I mean, like, look at Aaron Hernandez. Like, how did he slide through up until when he did?
He's a dumbass, man. He's getting he just had to not murder nobody. Like, if you told me, bro, I'm going to pay you millions of dollars to throw this ball, to catch this ball, to run this ball, to tackle these motherfuckers, and all you got to do is enjoy your life. You're a fucking idiot if you go out there and murder motherfuckers trying to act gangster. Like, you're not gangster. Like, we know you're not. You were in one of those division schools. You got drafted by the NFL. You made it, nigga. Like, you made it. You had a mansion. You were murdering niggas while you had a mansion. That's just some of this should have not ever had money. But that also speaks to how they use college players, because he was a college player.
When he supposedly was dealing with CTE.
Like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
They ignore it. If it's profitable, they ignore it. And my thing, like, there's a mass ignorance when it comes to college sports. Because they're like, woo, go Knowles. Fuck the brain damage. You wonder why there's such an emphasis on sports and watching somebody put a hoop in a basketball much more than there is on education. Like, much more there is on health. Much more there is on people being poor or starving. We don't put an emphasis in that. It's not important to us. So, of course, it doesn't get taken care of. It's not marketable. Ain't nothing cute about being broke and poor. Like, there's nothing fancy about that. So we don't spend a lot of time on it. But we do spend a lot of time on funding these organizations like the NCAA that do this shit and exploit these kids in a way that's profitable for them, and we're okay with it. But we do that with a lot of shit. We do that with iPhones. We do that with...
Well, I'm saying child exploitation is, like, number one in America, though.
But that's,
you know what I mean? Like, I think that's just so...
Exploited, but America is one of the number one people that forces child exploitation to continue happening. And I'm not talking about Epstein. I'm talking about your iPhone.
Oh, yeah.
A little kid made your iPhone.
I'm even just talking about, like...
Dirt poor.
Like, I remember I was watching, I seen a clip of, I forget her fucking name. But it was like a child star. And, like, she was literally being passed around, like, to grown men. Like, I mean, he was, like, there was nothing, like, explicit or nothing like that. But it was just, like, this kid, like, getting carried around and passed around and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Just, like, talent shows, beauty pageants, it's the same shit. It's the shit we focus on. TV, like Disney, Nickelodeon. Like, we literally live in a country that exploits the fuck out of not just children, but all of us. You know what I mean?
It's because they exploit it on one end, and on the other end they shun it. You say it's weird, saying like that they exploit kids, which is true, but they do it all the time. They have a whole Disney Channel literally dedicated to exploiting young children. We have media that is literally dedicated to making things sexy, racy, attractive, things that are ugly are pushed aside. We feel pity for people with disabilities. We have very specific lenses we view everything through. But when we do that, we're like literally emphasizing things and making them lesser and more important. Much like American gods, when they're like, hey, like a god is an old god, but no one believes in him anymore. And then the new gods were getting strong because everybody believed in technology. So like wherever we put our energy, we're making that the thing it is. If people stopped watching the fucking NFL and said, "Hey, get your fucking ass outside and play football with me, kid. You're not gonna sit here all day and do this," then that would be our emphasis. But if our emphasis is on isolation, technology, and interacting through these mediums that we found more pivotal and important through COVID-19. Like, everybody got more isolated. All the kids started playing more games at home. Everybody started gaining more weight. Americans got the fattiest and the most unhealthiest during the pandemic because, everybody was indoors. They're used to a certain lifestyle. But that's what we put out. That's what we say is important. So everybody's going to find that as an important thing and make it an important thing. But when we do that, we ignore all this other shit. You know what I'm saying? If we spend all of this money on other things that are important, like kids getting kidnapped, like girls getting abused and exploited. If we put the same amount of energy we did in outlawing marijuana to kids getting kidnapped, I feel like it'd be much more of a better investment. It would make more sense.
Well, and that's part of the problem, right? It's like
it's just not sexy.
Like, for example, like with America has the war on drugs, right? And it's had it since like the 80s. But at the same time, America is the biggest distributor of drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like
when they frame it war on drugs, it's crazy because it's like what Tupac said. It's a war against poverty. You're fighting. You're not, the rich motherfuckers aren't getting arrested, and they're not. And they use drugs too at the same rate, and that's been statistically proven.
If not more.
If not more.
Because Charlie Sheen been doing hella drugs.
They don't get arrested or prosecuted like black or brown people. Like it just doesn't happen. And in the same regard, the people that are black or brown or whoever's selling drugs or whatever, those people don't have opportunities. Like, you think if I could make $1,000 a day doing a legitimate job, I would sell any type of narcotic and risk my freedom? Fuck no. No one would. No one would. No one would be like, yo, I'm doing so well in my life. Unless you're just some rich kid that wants to be, experience the life. You don't have to, but like other people feel like they have to. They get arrested for a bad charge. You catch a felony, now you can't get no credit card. Now you can't go to college. Now you can't get an apartment. Now you can't get a fucking job. And you wonder why those same people commit that crime, that specific crime. Because it's, number one, accessible to them. Number two, that's the only path they see forward to even making any type of substantial amount of money. Because otherwise they're making bare minimum at a shit job in the middle of nowhere, and they can't afford to live. So it's like, I feel sympathy for those people because those are the opportunities that are presented to them. That's what they have available to them. And everybody says everybody has equal opportunities, but we all know that's bullshit. Everybody doesn't have equal opportunities.
What do you think girls be doing OnlyFans nowadays?
I don't know.
Like, I mean, if I was because they know, realistically, a lot of these girls are, and this is so sexist and misogynistic, but I'm not pulling any fucking punches today. A lot of these girls aren't that fucking smart. A lot of these girls are not going to make it in the workplace. So they're like, instead of competing, what I'm saying is, like, for example, right, like you have like the basic, like, let's say like the office workers, right? Like, we're making $20, let's say, $50K a year, right? Then you have like, let's say, engineers, fucking people who make like a shitload. Like, those are like the real male driven like industries, right? So you can't compete with those guys. So if you can't, if like, for example, like if it's so much more easier to take some naked pictures and you're gonna make more money than the dude that's engineering, but why the fuck would I go to fucking work when I can just take some fucking nudes?
I don't even think it's that. I mean, there's many.
I think it's a lot of that. A lot of these girls don't want to work.
I think it's personally, I feel like if I could whip my dick out, take a couple pictures and put them up on OnlyFans, I'm making racks. I'm quitting my job too. Everybody's quitting their job.
Of course.
But that's my thing. Like, you gotta be.
But the thing is, like, you're not.
Sell it.
But
people.
But there are
in that field to buy it.
But what I'm saying is that, like,
they're getting OnlyFans for dudes.
Dudes aren't on OnlyFans like that. There's some dudes on OnlyFans. Don't get me wrong.
Look, man.
If you compare that to the amount of women and like,
but you gotta. They have an audience.
Exactly.
Guys are fucking stupid.
Guys are stupid and fucking horny.
Yeah. And they're like, man, look, like, I'm gonna get this bet. $5 for this first month. I'll cancel the subscription after. Like, they're gonna do it.
So I'm saying, if you create an easier alternative for someone,
they're gonna do it. Just like much like drugs. Like, that's the easiest alternative I have. That's the most viable thing I have in front of me. The money's here right now. I have to pay taxes on this shit.
Mhm.
I can still get help from the government. I can do what I gotta do.
If I can't. You tell me I can't work at a fucking warehouse because I have a fucking record or some shit? Cool. I'm gonna go fucking push these keys. I'm gonna go fucking bag this work up because that's the only thing that
But if guys had the opportunity, or if the field was as viable as it was for men as it is for women, then guys would do the same shit.
Mhm.
Like
Same thing with women.
I'll line up 1,000 dudes that would love taking pictures of their buttholes and just uploading it on OnlyFans if they felt like they were to get 1,000, 5,000 subscribers, paying $5,000 or $5 a subscription. You're getting paid money.
There's a lot of those girls who do not really want to be doing OnlyFans. They are only doing it because of the ease and the amount that you can make off of it.
Anyone would. I guess it's my argument. I don't even think it has anything to do with gender. I just feel like if the roles were reversed and there were 3 times as many dudes, and then to women, like there was only 1 woman for every 3 guys, then they might be subscribing to OnlyFans at the same rate. I just think it's a ratio issue and a matter of where we put our attention to. That's what gets paid. Our emphasis is on sex and selling sex, and sex is everything. And guys are hypersexualized as a result. Porn is everywhere. And everything, even like nudities and everything. So it's like, yeah, you're gonna want to see what's behind the paywall for the new chick that just posted the hottest chick in the world on our OnlyFans. I want to pay that $5. But that's how they're doing.
No, I know they're doing it.
Making 50
I just
this month. I'm making 50
don't get how that works.
Bad Barbie. She fucking. I don't think
Bad baby.
I don't think she's attractive at all. This bitch made $10 million on her OnlyFans. Am I telling her she's lazy or she's smart, selling what she knows sells? If I know that I could walk down the street and punch somebody in the face and make $50,000 today, I'm punching that nigga in the face. I'll take the chances. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. If they know they can go in the bathroom, tighten up, you know what I'm saying, get the lighting right, pop their pussy a little bit, and then get 50 racks, like, I ain't mad at them.
Oh, I'm not mad at them either. Just like I'm not mad at the drug dealer for doing what he does because he's still like providing a service.
Our energy should be focused elsewhere. Make that drug dealer an entrepreneur. Let them set up their shops and do whatever. Make certain drugs that are really, really, really life-altering illegal in all forms. And then you end all this war on drug shit. It's like saying, we know we have a problem. We know we let it ride, but we're only going to target certain people. That's what it's been since its inception. Yeah. This war on drugs is the biggest failure of fucking a lifetime.
I mean, it's not really a failure if you think about it. If you're a white supremacist country who wants to lock up as many brown and black people in jails, this is the perfect thing to do to get your end results. Then you have brown and blacks in prison, cheap labor, fucking repeat the rinse and wash.
It's only a problem if you make it a problem. So my thing, like, it's only a problem because they make it a problem. But the real problems are getting away from us. So the real problem with if we had a street, and I'm not advertising cocaine usage, but I'm gonna just put it out there. If you had a way that you had access to cocaine that was legal, it would literally kill all the black market shit. Because why would you not get something straight from the source as opposed to getting it from the streets, worrying about if it could kill you? Yeah. Same thing for all the other drugs.
I mean, same thing cheap, probably because it's cheaper.
And it would be cheaper because it'd be mass produced. So my thing is, like, there are certain things we put cocklocks on in life and, like, politically and say, hey, like, we shouldn't have access to this. And they end up hurting us in the long run. And our emphasis on things that aren't fucking important is so high. Those things get hyper extended beyond what they should be. It shouldn't be that important. We should be focusing on saving kids. We should be focusing on them not
homeless veterans.
We should be focusing on homeless people. We should be focusing on poverty. We shouldn't be focusing on who's smoking what. You smoke whatever the fuck you want. That's not gonna kill my kid. Bringing cartels and other fucking organizations into it, that's gonna kill my kid. If this is a
so it is cool to blow smoke in a kid's face.
I mean, it's not. Cool. What I'm saying is, like,
that's a joke. It's a callback.
I'd feel better for that happening, knowing that kids are safe.
No, I
wouldn't mind a kid. I'd rather you blow smoke in my kid's face, knowing that my kid is safe and nothing's gonna happen to him, knowing that my kid's not gonna get profiled, knowing that my kid's gonna go to school and get a fair shake, like knowing that we're gonna emphasize education over.
See, that's a good trade.
Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm okay
not like the Brittney
with
Griner
that,
one.
but I'm not okay with this other shit that we say is okay to do and it's not okay. Like, it's not okay to be blatantly racist at a fucking high school game. Why aren't we talking about those kids getting suspended? I didn't see that in the headline. That kid fucking killed somebody because somebody tried to kill his ass, and he gets suspended, and he just also happens to be black. I didn't hear about none of those Kansas students getting suspended. I didn't hear about the gym teacher getting expelled. Nothing. I didn't hear nothing about the coaches not breaking it up. I ain't hear nothing. But that's what I mean. Like, whatever we make important is important, and whatever we say is important is important. But we don't emphasize the right shit, so things go wrong constantly.
Yeah.
Obviously. We're more worried about whether or not I'm a them, they, she, he, bi, fucking alien than anything else. All the other shit's not important. So, it's highly offensive to live in this kind of society, but it is what it is.
It is, and that's why it's so offensive to tell the truth to these people, because they're so out of touch, out of reality, in their own isolated bubble that when you, like, point it out, they're like, no, this is the real world. What do you mean?
Why are you taking me out of my realm of comfort? I don't want to realize that there could be multiple truths and they can both be right. People could have their different opinions. It's having the different opinions is what makes the entire thing good. When everybody has the same opinion, the world was whack. If everybody looked the same, the world would be whack. All these fucking people that are super racist, like, we all should be blonde-haired, blue-eyed motherfuckers, or we should all be brown, and like, it's stupid. Because if there was no type of variation, it'd be a very fucking boring place.
Just imagine if all we got left was white people chicken.
Imagine all of us looked like aliens. We had features.
Like,
our features were just gone because we're all one united being. We all look exactly the same. All the women look the same. All the men look the same. It'd be like a colony of ants. It'd be the most boring shit in the world. There'd be no differentiating anything for everybody. Everybody has the same opinion. You'd basically be robots. And that's what a lot of people are advertising for when they say they want white supremacy or blacks only or whites only. Like, when you say that shit, that's what you're preaching. I want everybody to be the same. And that's the wackest fucking world ever. The reason why the world's so great is because there is so much diversity. It's because I say, hey, there's Jesus, and you say there's a Hindu god that explains why it's windy outside. Like, there's a good mixture of everybody. And that's what makes it fucking interesting. When it's not like that, when everybody's like, oh, you should believe in the Democrats, you should believe in the Republicans. Both these motherfuckers don't care about y'all. Because they've both been in parties, they've both been in power this entire time. And shit has not gotten better.
Yeah.
So, like, things that they had to give up were things that society said you had to give up. You know, you can't do this, separation of schools. You can't do this separation of water fountains. Like, cut that stupid shit out. We helped build the country. We're part of this country. You're going to have to fucking deal with it. And then it only changed when society said no. The courts were like, oh, it's not okay, or it's still okay. And everybody else was like, no. And then they had to eventually listen because people weren't having it. Yeah. So that's my thing. If we weren't having it, if we're saying, kidnaps are up and drug usage is up with fentanyl, all right, well, we need to have better elected officials that make good decisions that are based on what's right and not what their fucking donkey or elephant tells them, because that's retarded. Yeah. It's retarded that we even have a system that has a donkey and a fucking elephant. You would think you would have a stronger symbol. You know what I'm saying? Like a fucking bald eagle that's just jacked the fuck up, and like a fucking crocodile or some shit. Just,
a lion,
a lion or some shit. We picked a fucking donkey and an elephant. We picked the worst animals in history to be representative of our democracy. It's the craziest shit in the world, and we only pick those two. It's one or the other, and there's one or the other in every important power position. Like, that's retarded. We're always going to have those same polarizing views because we have two groups of people that don't believe in the same shit, and there's no middle. So,
but there's some good points and shit, and it's some real shit, yo. Like, but you want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
Fucking, that was a message of the day. Fucking, be unique, man. Be an individual. Think for your fucking self. Experience life.
Diversity.
Because you're the only one that's going to experience it your way. No one else is going to experience your life for you. So go out there, do what the fuck you want to do. Be what the fuck you want to be. Just don't come back 20 years later and complain about it. You know what I mean? Like, that was your choice.
You make your choices.
Just like I'm not going to come back 20 years later and complain about my choices.
If I chop my dick off, I'm living with it.
I'm not chopping my dick off, not ever.
If I ever did, it's my choice.
But, you know, I'll be back next week with my dick still here. So, new highly offensive.
4.5.
4.5. Appreciate y'all sticking through. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all giving us this opportunity. We're going to keep coming back with some new material, new content, new shit to talk about. Keep trying to elevate. Keep trying to push us forward. And hope y'all rock out with us.
Yeah.
So, this is your boy Jay Kush, Matt, Kate. We sending y'all much love through the holidays and shit. I know some of y'all need it. Much hugs and shit. Fucking get with y'all family, man. Smoke y'all weed, y'all cigarettes. Get you a drink. Say your prayers, man. Fucking be thankful for that you're alive. Anyways, with that, we out.
Peace.